all day.
So
How do you feel about the way it ended?
I have the book, so I wasn't bent out of shape. It was definitely rushed, but what was there I enjoyed.
I think my favorite out of all the memes and everything else I saw was the "No one asked Sansa, Bran's dick doesn't work."
So it wasn't just him yelling that would screw with the camera, like anytime we would laugh also, and then a couple times even this far away. So I cranked down basically like how loud it would allow it to get, so we might need you to talk a little bit louder to make sure.
You need to project.
Okay.
You're quiet even when we have
And
Enunciate.
oh, and do my hand. Is my phone over there? Yeah, be handing my phone. And also,
This thing that just made a sound?
yeah,
Okay.
thing. Shit, I just lost it.
Phone's on silent.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, maybe me just asking you will help me remember, but help me remember to change the ambient sound. So like we were down in the cave that whole time, and it was like birds chirping and shit. I mean, you can't really tell because it's ambient sound, but I just kind of want to remember that stuff. So if we like change environments.
Okay. So let's start with the cave ambient, and then we'll go back to like birds chirping or
Yeah.
a village or something after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
Go to forest ambient, but have it be accurate so there's people out there logging.
Yeah, I've got two
Deforestation.
growth potions, one potion of fire breath, the third level spell is the wind wall, and the HMs that are worth 50 gold.
Tank. Dun 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 dun. Copyright strike.
I think you get so many seconds before it breaks over.
Oh Lordy, does everybody have what they want to drink?
No. I'll be right back. It's a good question.
Will you grab me a pint of goat's blood while you're in there?
Pint of goat's blood.
Ooh, that smells good.
It's actually been really good.
There's a menthol?
Yeah, it's that new like Coolada style where it's not menthol, but it's got like.
Pint of
You
goat's blood.
just want to try it?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Can I bring you a glass?
Yeah.
I think he was being facetious. I just brought him something anyway.
Oh, was a little bit, but
Actually, yeah.
absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yeah, go ahead. It might be a little bit hot. I don't know how you like it.
That doesn't mean that you can't drink the whole thing, but if you don't drink the whole thing, we'll still want to
Okay.
drink some.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, get some of that.
I like the new, because like menthol is a little harsh on my throat, but these new ones they can do now, like the iced apple and the iced berries and stuff like that, where it's not quite as strong. It doesn't have like that same kind of minty finish.
Yeah.
It doesn't make your throat feel gross. I like those.
It was all I would vape until I started like changing juices often because the mint always takes over all the other flavors I put in my tank afterwards.
Well, it also helps if you run a little bit smaller coil, because like the menthol and like the big barrel coils, it just becomes like you're just smacking yourself in the face with a frozen sledgehammer.
Killing your throat.
Yeah.
What are all those numbers on the front of that thing?
That's the wattage.
Okay. We were running around with that door.
The
Oh yeah.
voltage,
You guys have more with you.
the ohms. It also counts puffs. I don't know why.
Helping you keep track of your head.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna reset that.
Do we have do we have an inspiration icon? Do we have the popper?
The popper.
That thing scares the shit out of me, man.
Why?
Is it still over there? Because I'm afraid it's just going to go
Loaded.
That'd be amazing if it just went
We
off.
had it for the longest time.
Yeah.
Spontaneous popping.
Due anytime.
I mean, you have to
Any
pull on a
minute now.
string.
Any minute.
Here we go. How about a turtle of inspiration?
The turtle of inspiration.
I really want the popper now.
I know where the popper is. I'm not bringing it.
All right, I'm going into your war room.
Who would like the turtle of inspiration to summarize last week for us.
Well, we left Nightstone. We went to a cave to ruin Ogre Date Night.
You succeeded.
Yeah. We tried to find our way through, or try to plan to take down Ogre Date Night, and plan just went to absolute shit. We fought a bunch of goblins and those two ogres, and while we were doing that, some smoke started coming out of the cave. It changed from green to red, and then red turned out to be poisonous. We rolled around in some mud to try to protect us from the poison gas cloud, and we ran down into the caves to try to save the villagers, and we killed a couple more goblins, put out the fire, pulled the townsfolk out of a pit, and we are trying to convince the Rat King that Nibelheim,
Go to Little Off Reservation.
what's the goblin's name? Sir,
No, that's, it's like, I'm not thinking,
Poussey.
Snagglepuss.
Snagglepussy. We're trying to convince the Rat King that Snagglepussy, the goblin, is now the new Goblin King. And we teamed up with Dwarfman, what's his name?
Morak.
Morak.
Like that
We took a
Niflheim
short rest.
first,
Did you
yeah.
get some spell slots back?
Yeah, I did.
Took a short rest. Got some sweet wizard gear out of the Rat King's bedroom. I'm suggesting we just roll the stone clothes, take a long rest, and we were about to confront the Rat King.
Okay.
Cause
The Turtle of Inspiration goes to Tort for this session.
is that a D?
It's advantage.
Oh, it's advantage. Okay.
Advantage.
It used to be D8 or D10.
It did
or
because
something.
I did it like a bard's inspiration.
Oh, okay.
But by
Now it's
the
advantage.
by the book, it's supposed to be
So
advantage.
it's basically like a luck.
Yes.
Wait, can I use inspiration after I've rolled? I'll be
You can
oh,
use
that's
it
fine.
after you've rolled, but before I announce the result.
Okay. So now we're at the short rest.
Mhm.
I guess we left the wizard's room.
You guys are still standing there.
It's still delivery.
Okay.
The four of you and Morak are standing in this bedroom behind a stone that was used by Gwark, the chief of the goblins, as kind of his bedroom. And you can see something in particular catches your eye, Dusty. You see hanging on the wall is this battered and chipped and pockmarked piece of heavy iron armor. And it has a couple of symbols in it. I'd like you to go ahead and make a history check for me.
Yeah, we're gonna start strong today. It's a natural one, which gets me to a 4.
Okay. You have no idea what they mean, but that's what they look like.
You are now done.
Your natural archaeological curiosity takes over you, and you take a moment and scribble those down and
Shield?
make note of them. It looks like a large piece of iron armor. With a 4, I can't give you much more than that.
Mm.
What else do we see around the room?
There's an rather, for a goblin, what would be a really nice bed. It's actually got posts and a mattress and some linens on it. It's absolutely filthy. And you can see there's all sorts of little toys and baubles laying around. And sitting on this small table that's on one side of the bedroom, you see that there's like a large pewter dish, and it has what appears to be some sort of meat and bones remaining in it.
Do I see anything that I recognize from the village of like little baubles and things like that that might have been belonged to the townspeople that he?
Yeah, looking at some of the baubles and stuff on the floor, you're able to pick up that some of these are children's toys. A couple of them are buttons that have been refashioned into small miniature horses. It's almost like, go ahead and make a perception check.
Yeah.
20.
20. You're able to discern.
There's probably more. The natural 20.
I can't give you any more than a natural.
Well, I want to. Okay, go.
No.
Go for it.
Oh, it
Explain.
turns out it's -4.
Explain. to
You're
me.
able to discern by looking at this. It seems chaotic at first because it's made out of so many disparate materials, but someone has almost been planning some sort of military engagement or some sort of strategic conflict, and they've been using these baubles in order to represent different things. So you see small, like corn husk dolls to represent large areas of like what you think would be infantry, and you see small wooden horses that have been arranged to represent cavalry. And
As far as the layout and maybe if there's like lines of distinction, or how has he arranged the perimeters that I can maybe look at it and see what areas each of these what territories are being represented within this configuration?
there's nothing around it that specifies where or what terrain this is going to occur on.
Mhm.
It appears to be some sort of mental exercise he was engaging in about how goblins would take down, say, a more sophisticated army.
Okay. So he's just playing like internal risk, just.
He's conducting some wargaming in his head.
Okay.
Well, it's not.
Say,
Well, he's gonna have to
Bobble,
die.
Torque, do either of you recognize the glyphs that are on that armor over there?
I'll take a look. You wanna help me?
I speak, okay, I know Gnomish, Common, Halfling, and Thieves' Cant. Would I recognize those?
The glyphs that are on the armor? No.
No, okay.
So you've got Gnomish, Common, Elvish, and Thieves.
Mhm.
You have
Common, giant, infernal.
Okay. Gabrielle, what languages do you speak?
Goblin and Gnomish and.
Goblin and Gnomish and Common.
Mhm.
And Dusty, just refresh me.
Common and gnome.
Common and Gnome? Okay. Yeah, none of you guys immediately recognize
Well,
this
and
script.
thieves. And
You, once again, had the same feeling that you got looking at the runes that were on the stones in the village that had been dropped and used for bombardment. It's some sort of very primitive giant rune script.
We doing history check?
It's on armor.
It's like a big piece of metal that's triangular in shape and kind of curved.
Is it attached to the wall?
Yeah, it's hanging on the wall.
We doing a history check here?
I'll do a history check.
Let me do it. Maybe you help. Okay, that's fine.
Probably about 4 foot by
See,
4
like,
foot.
17.
17.
Oh.
You can discern by looking at this. This is some sort of pauldron that would be worn by probably a fire giant.
Pauldron, like a chest plate?
What goes over the shoulder?
Oh, I want it.
Yeah. You taking a moment and looking at it, you estimate it weighs probably around 180 pounds.
Yep, I want
It's
it.
forged out of iron.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
putting it on.
Okay. Go ahead and just put in your inventory. Make sure you list the weight for it so
I'm
we can
not
track
taking
encumbrance.
I'm not taking that shit. But I always wanted a shouldered pauldron.
It is
Just
an-
one.
It is an
Just
enormous
perfect.
shoulder pauldron.
Cast. Reduce.
On that? No.
Reduce it. I'm gonna wear it.
I've got a little cartographer's kit. I
Does
want to
reduce
just kind of
change
drop
weight?
down the configuration that Mark
I
created.
think so.
How much time are you taking in order to do this?
How much time do we have? Well, I guess how much time do we have?
Until they figure out what's his name, Gwark.
yeah, Gwark.
He's been talking to Niflheim.
Snagglepuss?
Snagglepussy. They've been talking for a while. I'm guessing Snagglepussy's either dead or Gwark's gonna figure out that we're dicking around in here.
Oh, yeah. He went in there. Okay.
Yeah, he went in there like, either he's gonna go in, but we said we were gonna take him in and present him as if he were the king, and then he ran in there anyway.
Who was
He don't have nobody to present him. I bet he's up to something.
He's going to betray us.
Just a mental note, and not in game because I hopefully wouldn't seem this goofy, but what was the name of the lady that was down in the pits that was taken down that Morak wanted to go save?
Daphne Featherstone.
Daphne Featherstone. And she was one of the.
Yeah, the handmaiden for
Oh yeah, for Lady.
Valrosa.
Okay.
Miss Featherstone, one of the sweetest who's ever come through the village.
Do an insight check. Is he sweet on her?
Go ahead and make it.
Don't you take my Morak? We can leave that
You
hussy
don't know
down
nothing.
there. No,
I do also have
It's-
thieves.
Hard to read.
Of course.
Hard to read.
Never Morak. His heart is only for me in my little gnome head.
Just a heads up, I feel like we're about to get into complications. My well of magical energy has been depleted.
Depleted?
Depleted.
Okay.
All I have is cure wounds. So do you still have that if we need it? I know it's not very powerful, but
Cure wounds is fine, but
I'll have a potion.
Alright, if we take a long rest, we'll be going into the fight more prepared and hardier. But it'll give
the Goblin King time to chase down and pursue the villagers or to set up additional
Does-
defenses.
Does anyone know about the potions of growth? Does that make you any stronger?
It makes it so I can grapple giants.
Do you want one? Well,
I
I mean,
sure
do
do.
you, well, I have two. Do you want to use it now, or do you want to use it when we've got
Oh
giants?
no, that's yeah. When we get giants,
Okay.
and I ain't gonna help us down here unless I
You think
grow
the
up.
Goblin
how do
King
you
will chase
think-
down the
Man.
villagers?
I think he probably will. I think he's wise to the fact that we've taken him and we're going back to the village now.
How do you think a fire giant
He's already
cauldron
eaten 4
ended
of
up
them.
on this wall anyway?
Probably wants
Huh?
him back.
How do you think a fire giant cauldron ended up on this wall anyway?
Do we see any other artifacts from other giants?
Mm,
That's really, that's
It's a
like,
really simple
that's like,
stone
that's like
room.
his,
Does-
what's the word?
Trophy.
Conversation piece.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether.
We could ask him about it if you wanted to. We can just walk in there and be like, hey, where'd you get this from? Then we can kill him.
Sounds like something you should do. Yeah.
Why not ask him? Yeah, okay.
I'm in a smashing sort of mood, so as soon as y'all are done having a
Well,
conversation.
he ain't got no ogres no more. So what we could do is we roll his door shut, and then we could say, "Hey, we got all your shit in here," and then we roll the door shut, and then
Mhm.
take a rest, and then he ain't got no ogre no more to open up the door, and then.
I do think it's worth pointing out this guy was smart enough to know how to use smoke in order to create an obstacle. If we're gonna lock ourselves in there, we have to be prepared for the fact that he might literally choke us to death.
And then he'd be trying to get us in there instead of at the villagers.
That's possible. I don't know what he's gonna prioritize.
I don't know. It's up to y'all. I'm just telling you, I ain't got a lot of magic left.
Well,
I think it's smashing time, but I'll follow your lead.
Let's go in there and see what we're dealing with. We can always run.
All right.
All right.
I'll take the back for a distant shot, if that's okay.
Sounds good to me.
Get the little ones first.
All right.
No witch bolt.
Eh.
Get the little ones
Okay.
first.
Can I sneak up?
No problem.
Why don't
Probably.
you reduce
If we're-
that
we're not-
Goblin King?
We're not in initiative yet.
This is
Can I
happening
sneak
right
up to here and attempt to throw
You're going
sleep
down.
right here?
What's happening?
You certainly can. Go ahead and
Like I still
make
want
a
to be
stealth roll.
partially covered by that wall.
Make a stealth roll.
22.
Oh yeah, you're able to very quietly get up there.
Okay.
As you peek up and you come around the corner, you can see into this room. It's a room that's about 50 feet deep and 40 feet wide. And there's a large ledge in the back left corner and a ledge on the far right side. And you can see these goblins all kind of like hunched over and looking down at something. In the middle of the room, on a raised dais, sitting on a cheaply constructed throne with all sorts of debris and bones and different offerings that have been brought before him, thrown before his dais. You see this gnarled figure curled up in furs with very obvious burn wounds around the crown of his head and in a triangular shape down the front of his forehead. This goblin sneers and looks. Off on the right, you can see Snagglepussy has been nailed to the floor and is having his fingers and toes consumed by giant rats. He's been bound and gagged, and you just see this weeping and murmuring. On the left side of the wall, where you see 4 of these giant rats taking turns, you see the hanging corpse of what appears to be a human man who had been suspended from the wall of a cavern and is slowly being butchered and fed to these giant rats.
Okay. I'd like to take some sand out of my coin pouch and just whisper it's time to sleep as I sprinkle it on the ground. And from here, it's a 20-foot radius. And try to put to sleep at least those 4 giant rats.
Okay, cool. Where are you guys? As he sneaks up, you see him peek around the corner. What are your marching orders?
What's that guy's name again?
Morak,
What?
Morak.
please. I'm gonna retcon this a little bit to before I leave, saying please give me a second to try this before you come up behind me.
Okay. I was gonna let you come back.
Okay.
Tell us what you saw.
That works.
You see it's dimly lit. You also notice that there's a small fire that's been going in the middle of the room. I could draw it out, but just assume in the middle of the room there's a fire.
Heard that. I'm fine with that. Okay, I'm gonna try to cast this. 15, 26.
26. You get 3 of them.
Sweet. I'm gonna let you decide because you are the master, as it were.
Just put blue markers on them because they're still there.
Or change them all to blue.
As you extend your hand over, 3 of the rats fall asleep, and you hear a voice from up in the what you determine to be the cheap seats, the goblins who are watching the night's festivities and this butchering go,
Oh, look, they got hungry. They went ahead and went to bed. That's gonna be more for us.
Alright, and I will signal and maybe have 120 feet on message, so I'll just write down, it's time, let's begin, and ping it back at the other guys. Wrap the message around the wire and ping it like a radar.
reaching back the hallway, you extend your fingers, you can distantly see Torque and Bobble kind of leaning out from this stone cleft where they had. So you guys hear this message echo in your ears.
Okay.
What he just said.
Okay.
Yeah. It's time, let's begin.
Alright, I'll creep up to where he's at.
I'll
How dark is
right
it?
torque him.
You can't see barely anything. You are almost completely blind.
Okay, drive me.
Okay.
Okay.
I will steer him.
From his
Uh,
back.
By the ears.
Yeah, the gym is Bubble.
Okay.
No, the other one's Bubble. I'm in the back.
The one I had in my hand.
Yes.
Okay.
Morak comes up, takes position.
But there's like, is it just, I'm actually wondering for him, is it just the firelight and a few torches here and there?
Just literally the fire in the middle of the room. That's all it is. You've only really got bright light in this area here and then dim light around here.
How well do you think you could hide in there?
I don't think it'll be too big of an issue. There's ledges and
Why don't you be the shadow man? You just creep around. I'll use thaumaturgy, start throwing your voice everywhere.
Soon they all have night I'm vision. Over here.
Oh, alright. I guess they wouldn't be dwelling in this place if they couldn't see everything anyway. Well, I'm fucked.
You get a feeling the fire is not there to provide illumination. The fire is there because they were trying to heat up meat.
Goblins have
dark vision. Yes.
Goblins have dark vision, okay. Alright. What? Giggling about.
What are you guys doing?
I have a bag of
Y'all
tricks.
do stuff. If they come over here, I'll
I'm
get
gonna
up in
go
their face.
ahead and back up a little bit, get a better angle, and shoot on him.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
Not
gonna
sure
stop
about-
you right there. I see what you're doing. I think you should sneak out and just hide over here, and when one of them starts coming towards us, you fucking murder him and then disappear again into the shadow. I want these two. We can let Mordak over here run out and just start doing shit, because he's in better shape than we are, and I'd like to have these two sit behind me and start firing like crazy.
From around the corner.
From around the corner. I think we might want to spread out a little bit
All right,
over
we're gonna
here,
do
but
that.
I'm gonna protect them while
So the
you
current
do.
plan has me as the only one in the room.
I think you can
Hey, is somebody talking out there? No. Oh, nothing going on.
I'm
I'm
gonna.
gonna throw down a.
All right, I will try
snare.
to sneak around the corner.
Okay.
It takes you. Doesn't it take me 10 minutes to do a
No,
snare?
no, it takes me 1 minute. I'm throwing down a snare
All right,
right here.
14.
14.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Show me how you're going.
I'm gonna do a snare.
Just kind of sticking to the walls, trying to stick to the shadows, basically.
As soon as you get in the room, this goblin over here and this goblin over here go.
Hey, there's a guy right over there.
Everybody roll initiative. Okay. 25 to 20. 20 to 15.
17.
Yours has a good bonus on it, though, right?
Okay. 15 to 10.
Yeah, it's me. What did I get? 12?
Okay. 10 to 5?
5.
And 5 to 0. Oh,
I don't know what more
Torch
I
sent
got.
it. Okay, cool. Give me just a second while I roll initiative.
I just holler back. Your plan failed.
Well, I thought you were sneaky enough.
You failed.
It's all right. We're gonna be all right.
Tabaxi.
We're gonna be all right. The plan is still the plan. You just come back here and start shooting with them. I'm still running out. Where'd you put us there now? Did you put us there?
I tried to put a thing. I don't know if we if you rushed out ahead of me putting that down, but yeah, I wanted to put one right there.
Oh, we're going out further than that.
Yeah, okay. That's just for
Actually, we could
me
go
and
back there.
Gabrielle.
We could go back there
taking
and just.
shots at them from around the corner, and then any of them come at us, they get snagged.
It snags them?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would have told you to put it right here.
yeah, I would have, but I didn't want to poke my head out there.
Let me just throw it down. Oh, you have to use 25 feet of it?
Yeah, 25 feet of rope.
Yes, that's
Can't-
why we keep having to give him rope.
Can't just do like 1 foot of it. Or
And it gets
10.
consumed.
Did I get a chance to build that snare down? No. Okay. Well,
He walked into the room and it was immediate. Like he tried to push up against the wall and those goblins were like,
never mind. But yeah, it takes a 25 feet of rope every time, and it's just gone.
okay. As soon as you guys walk in, all of a sudden, you see there's this series of winches and rope that begins to move in the top of this cavern. Looking up, Dusty, it's very difficult to tell what's going on up there, but you can see there's like buckets and a couple of burlap sacks, and even what looks like a large anvil that has been rigged up to the roof in this place. The rats are going to go first. These guys are going to stay in place. First rat is going to bite on you. And the first rat runs up to your legs, he begins biting on you, and his bite isn't strong enough to get through your leather boots. Your enchanted leather boots at that. With that, goblins 1, 5, and 6 are going to go. Goblin 1 jumps off the side here. And he is going to fire on you with a short bow. That's an 11 to hit.
No.
Nope. Okay. 5, 6. He's 15 to hit.
Yep.
You take 2 points of piercing damage as number 5 pulls out a short bow and shoots you in the thigh with it. It was a difficult shot. You're honestly thinking he might have just kind of hit you by blind luck at this point. And number 2 is going to fire on, or number 6 is going to fire on you, and he only rolls an 11. So as you're dodging and weaving, you feel this rat chewing at your boot, and one of the goblins jumps down and takes a shot at you. You press back against the wall. A shot catches you in the thigh before you duck down and another arrow goes whizzing over your head. It is now Torque's turn.
Alright. On up here. I'm gonna holler at you. You just come back here and start shooting from behind this wall. I'm gonna stand here. I'm gonna take dodge,
Dodge.
and then that's it.
Okay, fantastic. Standing up from the throne, Torque and Dusty, you guys see this goblin with these burns around his head and these triangular shapes down his forehead, stands up and removes his furs. And he's wearing what appears to be a twill jacket with leather elbow pads and a primitive set of canvas pants. And he has a rod in his hand that terminates in a large turquoise gem. He stands up and says,
Now, what perfidy brings these people into my lair?
Why'd you attack us? We just came in here to have a parlay.
Attack you? You simply snuck someone in here attempting to conceal yourself in the shadows. Positively disreputable. Dishonorable. You should be absolutely ashamed of yourselves. Frankly, I
How do you
came
know
to
he was
expect more
sneaking?
out of you.
He's a tabaxi. He just walks like that. You don't know he was sneaking. He was just going in there to see what's going on.
Make a persuasion check.
17.
17? My good man, you frankly think that my understanding of the tabaxi philology is so shallow that I would be fooled by such venal and, frankly, insulting and offensive stereotypes as what you just drew about our good person over here. I, for one, am well read on the feline anatomy and am more than aware that he can walk quite normally when he desires to. I can't believe that you traverse with someone who is so frankly bigoted against your kind. It speaks less of you that you put up with it.
It actually confuses me sometimes as well.
You're kind of smart for a goblin. What do you?
Indeed, you are quite an observant one.
You know, if
Now
you're
I
so,
see why you keep him around. He's so insightful.
if you're so smart, how come you're stealing townsfolk? It seems below you. You should have your sights set on higher goals.
Because frankly, there are some sins that are so egregious that they cannot wait until the afterlife to be punished.
What did they do?
It's not what they did, it's what I did. It's what was taken from me.
What was
and
taken
I
from
want
you?
back. I would explain it to you, but I'd have to use very small words, so I'm going to explain it to you, my good man.
All right.
Okay. There are certain tragedies that befall one in the course of the elegy that we call life. I had an opportunity for my short life to be granted intellect, insight, vision.
Oh, that's right.
But its beauty is the end of terror. It was snatched away from me. It left me with these disfiguring scars. Now I understand that my kind are not always the most gorgeous amongst the human races. I am somewhat vain, and I resented it. But more than that, I resented the fact that it cut me off from my research into necromancy, into planar exploration, into the manipulation of various factions that exist within the multiverse, which in my fledgling mind was so new, which I drank up like a sponge. And then, like a buffet, like manna from heaven, an entire village of people comes running into my caves. And what you must understand is, for me, the memory is in the flesh. And as he smiles, you see these blood-soaked, shark-like piranha teeth that are in his mouth.
He's been eating our people to get smarter.
They're not our people.
The scars on your head, was it a headband that was taken from you?
Yes, there was a gorgeous headband of the finest amethyst and silver. It rested gloriously upon my crown, and it was snatched from me while I slept.
Where'd I go?
I don't know who took it from me, and if I ever find them, I'll flay them alive, coat them in salt, and watch as the moisture is soaked out of their muscles and tendons.
This is a goblin, right?
Yes.
Okay.
3 foot high, dressed like a college professor, carrying a staff.
With a green gem on it.
Frankly, I anticipated you guys to be a little bit better after you killed my shamans. I expected that you would come down here in order to finish the job. So, as you can see from my accoutrement in the ceiling, I've arranged a certain amount of fun for us to engage in. Frankly, I'm eager to test my combat capabilities against professional adventurers.
The wall that is in front of me, does it go all the way up to the ceiling, or is there? a
Yeah,
top?
this is like an enclosed hallway here, and then you see it opens up here.
Okay.
The room y'all came from is back here.
Okay.
So, Dusty and Torque, you guys can hear this conversation, but it's difficult to pin exactly what's going on because you're further back.
You said Dusty and Torque.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
what I meant. I
You
meant
meant-
those two.
Oh, Dusty and Torque.
I'm Dusty.
Oh, he was saying there was like a comma in there that I missed.
You guys can see and hear this conversation.
They are just kind of
You guys
hearing
can just
mumbles
kinda
and stuff.
eavesdrop.
Okay.
Frankly, if you still wish to parley, having seen my arrangements and the fact that I'm
well armed and well supported, I would be more than willing to hear what your offer is.
I'm not the best with words, but
I'm pretty good.
Yes.
there's some others with us. that
Did you
may
bring
be
coloring
alright.
books for him?
Not today.
I feel like while we talk, he should be given something to occupy him.
He's usually
What?
pretty
How do
good
you
at
know
smashing
I'm dumb?
things.
I have a genius level intellect. I can look at you and assess immediately what your weaknesses are.
I'm incredible at talking and shit.
Okay.
I'm gonna pass it off to him.
Are you
What?
serious?
What if we went and got that
I think
headband
he'll
of
be better
intellect
at
for
this.
you?
Well, I guess there is something to be said for cutting to the point. If you went and got the headband of intellect for me, I would be, of course, forced to call a truce with the village, to
Well-
cease our raiding and our thieving. And with the headband, I would be able to move my people from this, frankly, entirely disgusting warren here with its humidity and awful algae growth, and we could find a place more suitable. And I would begin to continue my experiments in uplifting goblin
What kind of necromancy were you getting into?
The fun kind.
What's that?
The kind with hands.
Were you raising the dead?
Well, that would be literally the definition of necromancy.
Yeah, not always.
I wasn't just talking to him.
You bringing them back? You know
Trying
what?
to.
You got any clues about where that headband went?
No, I was sleeping. But I do know through my spy network that my various raids on the wizard caravans and stuff like that that have been transversing the high road recently, that someone, one of the wizards who I tortured, claims that he might have seen it in the city of, oh god, where is it they worship that awful Shantae? Golden Fields. Someone in Golden Fields might have had my headband.
Sidebar with Morak in the around that corner.
Make it quick.
I just asked him while you're doing your monologue.
Aye. What do you think, little one?
Do you know anything about the headband that he's discussing?
Stage whisper.
Stage whisper. Do you know anything about the headband that he's discussing? Do you know anything about the headband that he's discussing in there? Has that?
9.
Okay. Are we ready to go
What's the
in?
name of the town?
Golden?
Golden Field.
I know the town of Golden Fields. It's close to here, but it's basically it's a giant temple complex. It's like like if you combined a fortress, a temple, and a farm and a commune all into one. Bunch of drippy hippie types, all affiliated with the Emerald Enclave, live there.
What's that?
No offense to you drippy hippie types, but I'm a little bit more domestic myself.
How'd you get that giant's armor?
The giant's armor, that was being transported by one of the wizard wagons that I intercepted. After my soldiers butchered the horses and we ate the wizards, I thought it was too fashionable to allow it to simply disappear or go to waste or rust. So I hung it on a wall.
Alright. Well, we're gonna go get your headband of intellect. 'Cause
Very well.
we think you're a wise and powerful leader. And as long as you don't take our humans anymore.
I do have one request that
Yeah.
I might make. On your way out, there is some sort of gelatinous creature which has cut us off from our fresh water supply. And unfortunately, he seems largely immune to my spells. And so, could you deal with that on your way out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. It would go a long way towards demonstrating goodwill between our two positions.
Alright.
We need Snagglepuss to do that.
I don't think Snagglepuss is alive anymore. I hate to break it to you, Bobble, but from what I've
I'm
seen,
alive! I'm alive!
he's nailed to the ground and being eaten by rats. I figure that's just gonna be a thing.
He probably came in here saying he was the king of Chad. He came in here saying he was the king, so
Of
why are you eating
course
him?
he did.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
He is.
Okay.
And
Watching him being devoured alive will provide us with entertainment for the rest of the evening. And you know, I have to give the people something to occupy.
Am I
their
free to
time.
move back down the tunnel?
Certainly, as long as you guys knock next time you come down. Don't,
We'll do that.
Don't attempt to be so.
So we
Skulky.
sent that message. Can we respond to a message, or is it just one way?
By now,
Person
I think
needs
it's
to-
You should go and talk to your people out in the hallway.
Okay, we're gonna go take care of that blob real quick. And then we'll go get your headband and we'll bring it back. Just don't take any more people. We'll bring you something else to eat. Can you eat something else for knowledge?
No, humans.
Yeah, all right. Death ain't that bad. Let's go.
All right.
So my main thing, when we get back with the group, is to be like, hey man, at least 2 people here definitely want to kill goblins.
I know, but look here.
We have to kill him. He has been eating people. He is going to continue eating people.
I'm gonna drag everybody and we're gonna get up to a safe distance where we can have a little bit better of a
Let's
conversation.
go up to the second level.
Okay. I'm gonna do a little perception check to see if he sent up any spies to listen to what we're talking about.
Sure.
I'm gonna use my turtle of inspiration.
I
10.
will also keep an eye behind us since we're both the ones leaving that room. I'll try to pay attention if there's anything following, if that's okay.
Okay. You keep an eye out for it. You guys don't seem to notice anything.
I want to go somewhere where I have a wide berth of being able to stage whisper a conversation.
You could go up to the large area on the first floor where the goblins were bathing.
Yeah.
You remember that there were ledges up there that were kind of defensively positioned, or you could go to the area where basically the chimney and the fire was on the second level,
Okay.
because that kind of backed up against a wall in a little alcove.
Okay. I did a military assessment of the situation. We were not in a good position to take that on. I know we want to kill him. I absolutely want to kill him if he's dealing in number 1, eating people, and number 2, bringing back the dead. He's got to fucking die. Now what I'm thinking is we can come back when we're a little bit more prepared to take this kind of thing on, and we'll have the headband of intellect, maybe, if we even come back. But we could probably bring that back to get everybody else at ease and set up a better ambush position than what we were in at the moment.
At this
agree.
point, I feel like we need to come back because this whole thing, the whole reason we came out here
Was
was
to get
to
people
save
back.
people.
Yeah.
And the people that we saved are going to continue to be tormented if we don't do something about it.
I just bought them time. I said we're gonna get the headband back.
Golden Fields is at least 3 days away. 3 days there. How long does it take us to find it and come back? That'll be at least a week.
He bought us at least a long rest.
I know we didn't discuss it, but did Dusty see,
Yes.
Mrs.
Did you see Miss Featherstone while you were in there?
I believe I did, right?
You saw that she was kind of,
Yeah, like,
she looked rough, but she was behind the dais, behind this large chair. She looked like she'd been worked over.
I saw her in there. She's alive.
Dusty, I didn't see the accoutrement that he was referring to, but was it something that I might have been able to shoot down before I was able to damage us, or?
There was all sorts of things in the ceilings.
Okay.
I mean,
they
multiple of us could have taken chances trying to shoot it down.
So they were strung up, it wasn't, like, encased within stone or?
No, it looked like pulleys and levers, basically, strung up.
I think we could do some damage to that.
Bubba made a really good point here a second ago. That did buy us a long rest. I
It's-
think we would be a lot better off.
At Mrs. Featherstone, or Miss Featherstone's expense, and who knows who else,
For 6 hours?
yeah.
Did it look like she had about 6 hours left? Does he
She
know?
looks pretty bad. She's standing, but she does not look healthy.
I'm telling you, everything we've come up against so far has kicked the shit out of us when I had full magical powers. If we go in there right now, we're gonna drop. I'm telling you that. We're not gonna make it. We got more combat economy in this room than we have ever encountered, and I have no healing spells left.
Maybe we go back in there and ask if we take a long rest there before we go attack the blob.
We take.
That was a lie. I'm not going to touch the blob.
Obviously, but
My only question is to go ahead and take Miss Featherstone, so we have our rest, but we also don't lose a life.
I don't think we have anything to offer. I think that's a good.
Do you have anything to offer? Wait, all that treasure we found was in his own room. Seems
That's
a
what
bad
I kind
idea
of
to
like.
offer that.
I kind of fucked up mentioning that giant shoulder. I kind of wanted to get out of there. Like,
if he would allow us to take a long rest in there, we can keep an eye on her,
no.
saying that we're going to take a long rest there so we can go attack the blob because we're not at our full
I'm not
capacity.
sleeping around those rats, man.
Yeah, I think we could take a long rest somewhere else.
I don't think she's going to die. She might. I don't know.
The one thing I will tell you guys is as good as
She's done nothing to deserve dying.
as
We
good
can,
as
we can go in there and stop it.
Right now.
You've got me with you.
Okay.
We can go in there and,
And
stop this.
as good as
Alright.
the spells I've been practicing are, they're not very high level, and I was able to put 3 of them to sleep at once.
They're still asleep, I'm guessing.
If he hasn't been able to
What's
kill
the
the blob
lifespan
by
on
himself,
them?
how tough can
Oh,
they
man.
be? There's a lot of them, but they're small.
I take out my tan bag of tricks, and I take a little fuzzball out of it,
Oh, Jesus.
and I throw it on the ground, and it turns into an ape.
An ape.
Holy shit.
All right.
I can show you how to get that onto your normal player screen if you'd like.
Really?
Gorgeous.
Yes.
Okay.
You go back to it.
I hate
So you
goblins.
you throw this ball of fur onto the ground, and just poof, there's a cloud of tan dust, and all of a sudden, standing before you is like this large orangutan with very red fur and a goofy face, and like the large ridges that comes out, and he kind of leans forward.
You should be able to find it.
He comes over to you and he starts kind of pulling on your cloak.
Awesome.
Why can't I remember?
I name you Mr. Stubbs.
More.
Morak. I was close. Look, Mr. Morak,
Thank you.
I know you're king. I know you think, I don't know your powers, and I know you made a good assessment that, yeah, you're here with us and you're strong as fucking shit. And this gentleman can't be too strong if he hasn't killed a blob, but I don't know how strong a blob is, and I don't know how strong he is. Maybe he just didn't want to fucking waste some goblins on it. Give us, or at least me,
Should
give
be
me
able to,
6
like,
hours.
Add it so that you can just
Give
reference it when you need
these
it.
2 are probably fine. Give
you
us 6 hours to just chill out, and we can go in there and we can absolutely. Because you don't understand. Once you get, I mean, maybe you do understand, but if you get surrounded by people and you've got 4 people hitting you and 1 to replace each one that goes down for who knows how long, it'll get real tough real quick.
Go ahead and make a persuasion roll.
3. No. 4.
He looks at you and he has this smoldering intensity in his eyes, and he grips this club. And you're a coward, and you're afraid, and you're gonna let a young woman die because you're too big.
She ain't gonna die. I'm not a coward. I'm just smart. I know battle.
When she gets rent apart by rats,
All right, go in there by yourself.
Let's take a vote.
He's not going to go in there by himself.
All right then. Why don't you go in there by yourself, coward?
when I met you,
That's not what I mean.
I thought that
I mean,
you
I
had
will
been
go.
sent by one of the greatest women I'd ever met in order to take care of these villagers.
I understand how you
And
feel,
now
man.
I
I don't
but
feel.
All right, let's take a vote. Who says we should go in there and attack them right
You
now?
think she's gonna die in 6 hours?
I think he's killing 2 a day and has for the last 3 days.
And Mr.
And I
Stubbs
think it's
raises
about
his hand,
dinner
too.
time.
Everybody wants to go?
Yeah.
All right.
Even the ape.
I appreciate
No, that's
your-
okay. We got outvoted.
Let's do it.
I'll take point. If
Okay.
someone's gonna get hit first, I'll do it. Evidently, your cleric without his spells isn't worth anything.
Go easy on him, man. He's just looking out for our best interests.
He's worried because we've been in some bad fights recently. But I also don't want to leave her at the mercy of what's in there, considering what I saw.
Alright.
He's
What-
being optimistic.
Morak leans over towards you, Dusty, and he goes, okay. You, Forest Gnome, you, Tabaxi, you're fast, you're tricky,
Yeah.
you're good at range. You do have a talent for taking a hit. I think we got something here. What we need to do is we need to draw those goblins off the ledge and get them to collapse on me or get them to collapse on Torque. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use some minor illusions of something going on
I do
in
have
order
minor
to bait them out. We get those goblins off of the ledge in order to check something, and then we get in there, we take away their advantage that they have by being up on the high ground. Once they're in there, Torque, you and I will go first, and all we need to do is occupy space in the middle to make sure they can't move past us very efficiently. Then we'll allow him to flank them off to the left, start on the left, because I can tell going through that area in front of his little throne, that's gonna be hard to move. So go off to the left, you two give me support, start with the little goblins first, and we'll work our way up to the big boy.
Do we have any idea what his little headband looks like?
Yeah, he said it was made out of silver and that had an amethyst set in it.
Walk in there and say the guy dropped it on the way out.
I've got minor
I
illusion.
feel like they would have noticed it by now.
I have minor illusion and I also have disguise self.
You know goblins pretty well. You look like a ranger. You're familiar with these lands?
I am, and I can speak Goblin.
What would a goblin be attracted to? What could get him to jump down and scramble and maybe even get him at each other's throats?
I don't know how well he's meeting. Can I do like a intelligence check or something to?
Sure, just go ahead and make a nature check. Bobble, why don't you go ahead and make one also?
Not good.
12.
12. 12 on nature.
7.
7?
Mhm.
You know, goblins are greedy, nasty little things, and they tend to be ruled by violence, and food is about what they're into.
This one has a little bit more brains, but he seems to want to do the same thing.
He's a goblin, but he's on steroids. Or
He's,
modafinil.
He's on Limitless.
Yeah. So, what do you two think? What do you want to make an illusion of?
We might not need one. I do have an 8 Mr. Stubbs here. Could send him in.
Well, I mean, I could send in a mock Mr. Stubbs. That way, no damage is dealt to Mr. Stubbs.
That works.
And that can be our front runner.
Okay.
They don't know we have an ape. That's the one thing that they don't know. And to be honest, the only two of us that they've seen have been Dusty and Mr. Torque.
What sounds tasty that they may come running?
To be
after?
fair, even if
People.
Snagglepuss talked about anybody, he didn't know you were with us either.
That's true.
So you are currently the ace in the hole.
But he
You and
said
the
he knew
ape.
the shamans were dead, which means he's got to at least be aware that there was fighting on the second floor.
Yeah.
Did you see another way out of here?
Not while I was in there, no.
Okay, up to 30 feet in front of me, a 5-foot creature for 1 minute I can send.
And if I saw where things were hanging, did I have a general idea of where they might be falling?
It looked like it was a moving system. Like he could probably direct different objects to different places.
Like a crane in a toy bin? Like,
Think about like there's probably about 5 or 6 ropes on the ceiling that have all been run with different things, and like by releasing the tension on the ropes, it would cause these things to crash. But they could probably move or be moved, kind of like
so like a claw in a claw machine.
yeah,
Kind of like the back and forth.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't think about this well before, but my first attack is the most my first attack is the most powerful. So I would like to, whatever we do, however my action falls, if I can get a shot off, then it'll do the most damage.
I think you should use it on the little ones. I
Alright.
think we need to I think we need to get rid of, take all the swords out of the fight that we can. Real quick, what are these again? This one is,
That's
Quark,
Quark.
and that's Mrs.
Featherstone.
okay, so she's not a combatant, but I just noticed there's a combatant right back there.
we go.
Yeah, there's 6 goblins, and there are 6 rats, and those rats I put to sleep, barring their own health, they're probably back awake by now.
How long do they go to sleep?
According to the spell, 1 minute. They
Oh, okay.
probably woke up by the time we left.
Okay.
I also have a scroll of Windwall. I don't know if
And fire breath. Ooh, can I have fire breath?
You have a scroll of wind wall?
I don't have fire.
That can
You
block
have a potion of fire
arrows.
breath?
That can
You have a
block
potion of
arrows.
fire breath.
Yeah, wind wall can block arrows. That'll force the goblins to move closer to
Okay.
us.
Yeah, we can cut off the right side of the
I'm
room
gonna
with
be
a
up in everybody's faces.
scroll of wind wall, and we won't have to deal with
You can
arrow
have
shots from any of
whatever
them
you
but
want.
2.
Yes. Okay.
That'll allow us to isolate half of their forces immediately.
Yes.
That dramatically
No, I
turns
remember you
everything in our
did it.
favor.
Yes. So that's yours now.
Alright, word.
What's
Okay.
that, the fire breath?
Feel a little bit better now.
Okay.
Can
And
you
then
ready wind wall? And you ready something to slow down the other 2 on the left. And you're gonna go ahead and plan on sneaking in and slitting the throat of whatever he doesn't deal with. And that'll buy time for Torque and I to get into the middle of the room and draw fire from Gwark and whoever else is left. But if we're not having to deal with 3 or 4 of those goblins shooting arrows at us, that makes Torque and I's job a whole lot easier.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Can somebody pull one?
Also,
for
so
me?
you know,
This is garbage.
Much like
Wind
most
wall?
people, but I do significantly
it's
more
hard for me to
damage when
see
they have no
anything
idea
what
that I exist.
Do you have wind wall?
I have, it's the 3rd level scroll spell that I got.
Oh, yeah, I'll grab that for you. Real
Okay.
quick, and look it up on here.
Okay, are we ready to go? So we know the plan? Wind wall, you throw something.
Well, I think can we have a multi-layered plan? can we use, because it's a cantrip, I can use it easily.
Wind wall is?
No, Wind Wall is a spell scroll that once it's done, it's gone. But my Minor Illusionist is a cantrip that I can just throw out there to maybe draw some in.
So do we want to try the minor illusion first, and then if that doesn't work, then we run in and wind wall them?
I think we have it multi-layered.
I
I
got it,
think
Brandon.
we bring them in, we shoot what we can, and then we put a wind wall. Thank you. 50 feet long, 15 feet high, 1 foot thick.
50?
Yeah, 50 feet long, 15 feet high,
Okay.
1 foot thick. You
All
can
right,
shape the wall.
too
any
much
way you
talking, we need
choose.
to get in there before they take their anger out on
Wall lasts for
Daphne.
the duration.
All right.
Duration is 1 minute, and it only lasts a minute. When the wall appears, each creature within its area.
So
must
you were
make a
gonna go
strength saving
first and
throw.
do something, and then
And
I'll
also-
run
Yeah,
in
what
afterwards.
we'll do.
Also, I want, if we can,
What do
whatever,
you
wherever I
think,
put
Trixie
the wall.
Forrest, know?
All I have right now is just a firebolt that I can toss. Holding people won't do all that well. I can, if somebody's surrounded, I can thunder wave them, but
Do you have any kind of area of effect?
You can
not
hold
yet.
people, you can paralyze them.
I can hold them.
Do you think that maybe you could throw that at Quark?
I can give it a shot. I'm not sure what his wisdom is, where his wisdom is, but yeah, I can give it a shot.
I mean, he had a headband of intellect, but that says nothing for how
Yeah.
wise he is.
Goblins kind of dumb.
Wisdom, though.
Yeah.
They can have a lot of wisdom.
And we can't
He
shoot,
might have an altar gun.
I can't shoot through the wind wall.
No,
Things
but they
come in as-
can't either.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they also take 3d8 bludgeoning damage if they're in the wind wall.
Is it also
So
the
if we
middle?
So
set
we
it
wanna-
like somewhere over here.
Yeah.
And I can try to give you the layout, but I'm gonna guarantee you that with how the lighting was, I'm not gonna be exact on it either. So you might have to get in there and figure out the best spot.
All right, I'll attempt to hold it.
Is that the first move? Is you're gonna attempt to hold one dude?
I think Gabrielle's ultra critical shot should be the first one, right? She can one-shot people, basically.
She can one-shot some of the goblins, but
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, it is a priority, but it's not ultimate priority. If we can do, because I can do more damage with wind wall than I can with my first shot.
Okay. Yeah.
So the plan was for you to run up and do something, and then me to sneak around and try to get some more. But you don't have anything that's really AOE
I can
right
try and
now.
hold him. Yeah. I mean.
Okay.
Let's go with the classic.
Okay.
Well, one of you guys can use minor illusion to make an image, and one can use it to make a noise, right?
I got that.
Yeah, we can
I
do
got-
that.
do I have
So
filter?
why not have one person make an image of, say, a goat, and the other person make a goat noise?
Okay.
Ah!
You think that'd work? And then once they collapse down onto the goat, then we start the violence.
Sounds good.
Do you have thaumaturgy?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Let's put the
But
goat-
I do, but I have
I do a
minor
pretty-
illusion, so we're good.
I do a pretty good goat impression.
You
Let's
don't
put the
need-
goat right at the
just
end of the
toss minor
hallway.
illusions
I used to
there.
be a goat farmer.
Our minor illusions will be spot on.
You have a lot of past. You know that? You're talking about a lot of different things in your past.
I've been around a while.
How old are you?
Old enough.
Yeah.
A lot can happen in 7
Borax
years.
picks up his club and begins turning it over in his hand.
Let's do it.
You feel like you may be a pathological liar.
I can't do that.
All right, these are illusions.
Pretty sure you can.
All right.
That was the plan, was
okay.
for that to be illusion.
Go
Okay.
ahead and tell me where you're gonna put the illusion, guys. And just remember, you guys have to be within 30 feet of it.
All right. I'm gonna slide up right here.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check.
For right here.
Yep.
Shit. Shit.
Well, you're right around the corner.
2.
2.
All of a sudden, you hear this clang, clang,
The
clang,
entire
clang,
plan
clang,
is
clang,
wrong.
clang. As Torque walks up to the corner, you hear
Ask him.
Skittering and moving around in the other
Ask me
room.
what.
What we came back here to ask him.
Would you like this goat?
No.
We-
I throw up a goat.
I make
Where do
it
you
mad.
make the goat appear?
Can I make it move, or does it just appear?
Minor illusion is a static image.
Okay, then I just make it right at the corner.
I'm gonna try to fake him out that the goat was what made the noise.
Yeah, it's a goat in armor.
Okay. You guys make a okay.
Yeah.
You make a goat appear there.
In
What's
armor, evidently.
what's your spell DC?
5. Oh, 13.
13.
13.
Oddly enough, they look at it and they go, "My God, who sent a goat down here? You guys go get the goat."
You cast that goat, right?
Yes, it's a minor illusion.
I made it bow.
No.
You can put a wind wall behind them.
I wanna get as much as I can in the wind wall as possible, cause it's gonna do damage. So I might actually do a straight line wind wall that way.
Oh, I thought we were doing it just to protect us from arrows.
No, I'm doing it to do damage. I mean, I guess it,
It
because
will
we can't,
also
we
protect
can't
us
do
from
anything.
You see all the other goblins begin advancing towards the goat.
I'm gonna scoot back a little bit for line of sight. I wanna push him with me,
Or wake you to that
just
wind wall.
just like this.
120 feet.
Holy crap,
I'm gonna
okay.
bring her up here.
Okay. Morax hanging out. He looks at you, taps you on the shoulder, gives you kind of like the go sign.
Yeah.
You guys hear gradually the goblins wander up. One of them wanders up and leans towards the goat, and he starts making faces at it, going, "Little goat, I'm
Can
gonna
I go
eat
ahead
you.
and
I'm
shoot him?
gonna eat you." All right.
Alright, so I cast.
Initiative.
I pull out a
Wait, I
goat bell.
cast wind wall all along here.
Okay.
That's my line for wind wall.
I want
Roll
And
initiative.
anything in there, oh, sorry. Anything in there gets 3d8.
Surprise attack.
Surprise!
Surprise attack is around.
Surprise!
So
Surprise round.
there's surprise.
Yes.
You're cool.
Cause I pulled out a goat bell made of light and started ringing it.
Okay.
Okay, anything in that gets 3d8 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. 25 to 20. And 20 to 15.
18.
18. Okay.
Big.
15 to 10.
13.
And 10 to 5.
Present
Jesus.
What's your number?
7.
Got worried for a second.
And 5 to 0.
3.
Okay.
Bobby.
All right.
Damn it, Bobby.
First round is a surprise round. Everybody is surprised as you begin acting. Dusty, you are first to go. You see all of these goblins are crowded around a goat, and one of them is leaning forward, making obscene and taunting gestures at it. The rats all seem to be milling around. What would you like to do?
Shoot my short bow at him.
Okay. Which one are you shooting at?
I guess 4, the one
Yeah,
that I believe was
4 or
taunting.
3 are the only ones that you have line of sight on.
Okay, so we'll go with 4.
Cool. Roll your damage at the same time for me, please.
Forget about these things, these rules. What do we got? 26. See, this is why I look at things. So 19 plus 5 is 24 to hit,
24 hits.
and then I was just trying to check. Yeah, sneak attack is 2 now. So 5, 6, that's 11 plus 3 is 14 damage.
14 damage. As you pull out your short bow, you emerge from the wall, you let the bolt go, and it sticks him right through the neck, and he's going, and falls forward, still doing moose antlers on his head. Yep. Okay. Anything else on your turn, Dusty?
On my turn, I will just try to move up a little bit. There's an 8. There's a whole lot of people in my way. I can pass through where they're at, though, right?
I'll allow
Okay.
You brush them aside as you move forward, yes.
I'll move up to there, and then
it. Oh, my 8.
Yeah, roll for the 8.
17.
Okay, the 8 goes after,
after me.
after Radiant Dust.
Yeah.
Okay. What'd you say, Mr.
Was it
Stubbs?
+2?
Mr.
Mr.
Stubbs.
Stubbs.
Yeah,
Probably
Mr.
plus
Stubbs. What is
Okay.
Mr. Stubbs doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Mr. Stubbs.
Barrel through everybody.
1, 2, 3, 4.
He's only got 20 foot of movement?
He's got 30.
Mhm.
He's gonna pick up a rock.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna throw it at number 5 there.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll with no modifier. 19 hits.
But
Yeah.
it has a,
Plus
it's a
5.
rock attack. It's like a,
Oh, it's an actual attack thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. He picks a rock basically up off the wall, throws it at the gun, and it catches the goblin just right above the ear, and you hear this cracking noise, and then he falls back over.
Yeah,
He just split the skull of a goblin open with a rock.
he does a handstand.
Okay.
So, Gabrielle,
Mhm.
you see this monkey runs up and like skips, like sidearm Darren O'Day's a rock into the side of one of the goblin's heads, and then starts doing a handstand. What do?
I don't feel like wind wall is necessitated just yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and plink one off on number 4.
Okay, go ahead and launch an attack. Number 3, you mean?
It's got to be 3. You can't see 4.
Okay, 3.
Okay.
I don't think I got anything though, unless his armor class is a 7.
It is not, but you have advantage on the attack because he doesn't know you're there.
Yays!
You are.
Not yay.
It's cocked.
Same thing.
It's cocked.
Cocked, okay, I'll take it. Oh, sorry, I just get 3s, literally 3 3s. That's what that was.
The dice don't lie. You weren't meant to hit him.
No, it was
You
not.
were not meant to hit him. As
Okay,
you lean back, you
wasted.
shoot, and this arrow from your longbow goes sailing over the head of this goblin. He looks over and said, "What?"
It's okay. I really want your first hit to be on something more significant.
Well,
anyway.
let me double check.
I think it's only
Okay.
the first round.
First turn and 1 additional attack that deals an extra. I do get an additional attack though.
Okay.
I
go
don't
ahead
have
and
to
make your
hit to get an
additional
additional
attack.
attack.
You have advantage on your additional attack.
Damn.
You'll need it.
11.
Still doesn't hit.
Of course it doesn't.
So. Okay. Yeah. As you launch 2 arrows over the goblin's head, he goes, "What the heck?" And as he kind of points up at it, you send another arrow shooting past the right side of his head. And he's just very confused now, but unable to react or do anything about it.
Cool.
Okay?
Okay.
You gonna move or do anything else?
Bonus action, I'll cast Hunter's Mark on him.
On number 3,
Sure, I've got Vendetta now.
you cast Hunter's Mark on number 3. Okay. Torque, you're up.
I ring the goat bell I pulled out, made a light. Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Are you 13?
No, negative.
4 necrotic damage.
4 necrotic damage. All of a sudden you see this goblin leans forward. Which one was it you were on?
Probably the one that she was shooting at. It's the only
Shooting
one I
at
can
number
see.
4. He leans forward and he starts holding his head. He's going, ah! You can see like his skin is just starting to become black and veiny, but he's still standing up. Morak runs in. That's as far as he can get right there, and he's going to go ahead and dash. Actually, he's going to move over and square up on one of the rats. That's all he can do on his turn. Bubble, it is your turn.
All right. I'm going to run over here. What's this? A wind wall?
That's the
No,
goat.
it's a
Yeah,
That's the
ghost
goat.
illusion.
Okay.
Since they were kind of easy, I figured I'd hold off a minute.
And I am going to attempt.
You're hiding
to-
under the goat.
Yeah. Oh, we can just walk through it.
Yeah, you just walk through the goat. There's some sort of nomatar all of a sudden. Half gnome, half goat.
And I am going to throw a whole person.
At Gwark? Okay.
I'm pretty sure she would.
There we go. That is against 13 wisdom.
That's going to be a 10. So he is
How long does it
paralyzed.
last? A minute?
A minute.
All right.
Okay. Excellent. All of a sudden, you see his body starts to become rigid and tense, and you see that he is unable to move. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. We're back to the top of the order. He's not there to manipulate that. Okay, rats are going to move. Rat runs up to Mr. Stubbs, and the rat is going to be a 13 to hit.
Mr. Stubbs.
Giant
Mr.
rat
Stubbs.
runs up to Mr. Stubbs and hits him with the 13.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Yep, that hits.
Okay, 2 points of damage to Mr. Stubbs.
He's all right.
No? Oh, okay. That was weird.
It is weird.
You hit the minus button afterwards.
These two are still chewing on the corpse now of Snaggle Poussey.
How was he nailed to the ground?
Like
Because
with-
in my head it was through his head, and that was
No,
why he was already
No,
dead.
he was nailed out, hands out, and they just like nailed like a railroad spike to the ground and then
Okay.
tied him to it.
Cool. They're strong.
He really blew it.
Okay, You see this goblin runs over behind Morak, and he takes a swing at him with a scimitar, and Morak just sticks out his great club, and it catches in the wood of the club, and the goblin goes to pull it out. He's going to take a swing at you. That's going to be a 14 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
That'll be 3 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And number 3 is going to lean forward, and he's going to take a swing at you. And that's going to be a 19 to hit, and 5 points of slashing damage.
No.
Okay. And it is Dusty's turn.
Okay. Since they are engaged with him, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot at one.
Okay.
I don't get advantage, but I still get
He'd
sneak
have
attack.
half cover on that. So do you want to move forward 1 square?
Yeah, that's fine. And then again, no advantage, but I get sneak attack because they're engaged with him.
Gotcha. You're going
So
to hit
okay, and then 4, 7, and 3 is 10 damage.
10 points of damage on number 1 as you blow his brains out of the back of his head with your short bow.
Yeah. Let me make sure I'm keeping track of the arrows.
You line up on him and you walk forward, and it's the most academic shot you've made all week. It was like blowing a watermelon off a fence post.
Alright, doing what I can for you, Bobble, but you might need to back out of there.
Yeah.
Do you have to keep line of sight?
No.
Okay. And I hate to be the one to do this, but you took damage twice.
I
You
need
to
2
roll.
concentration checks from you.
Oh, good grief.
And they gotta be 10s.
All right.
It's Constitution save.
We don't.
He wants to know what your save is.
Well, that settles that.
Okay. Well, you lose hold person
Uh-huh.
on Gork.
Okay. Who's it? Mr. Stubbs?
Mm-hmm.
All right. He is going to two-fist attack this rat.
Okay.
What's that do?
21.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hit.
Let's see here, and that is 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. He takes 2 fists and just boom, and knocks the whole head of this goblin down into its body. And you just see like the top of its skull above its collarbone now, as he completely caves its head into his chest.
He was hitting the rat, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Oh, the rat. He smashes the rat. It's smushed.
Okay.
Smushed rat.
That's a multi-attack. So that was a multi-attack. So he gets to make 2 fist attack. Does he get to move and make his second attack as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So move him where you want him to go.
Let's have him go right here.
I'm gonna swing at the goblin.
Natural 20.
Nat 20.
So that's 5 points of damage.
That is still enough because he's been hurt previously. Mr. Stubbs just picks up the goblin by the legs and rips him in half and just splits him like a wishbone.
Good job, Mr.
Did he get the lucky side?
He did it.
He's kind of staring at
This leg's longer than this one.
Okay, anything else on Mr. Stubbs' turn?
That's it for him.
No, okay, that is Mr. Stubbs.
Move
Did you want to move anymore there, Dusty, or you stand put?
I mean, the ape was right next to me last time, and that's probably fine where I'm at.
Okay, cool. Gabrielle, actually... That's all that one can do. Okay, cool. Gabrielle, you're up.
If you'll move me,
She got,
13.
you got a,
Mr. Stubbs is 17.
but you've had 2.
No, this is my
The
second,
second round.
So the first shot you took was a surprise round when you
Yes.
took all 4 of those. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
When she rolled like 4 times and hit nothing, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Gabrielle, what's up?
3 times and hit nothing. Oh, well, I guess there was a cocked. Anyways, I'm gonna just scooch, and I'm going to. I don't want to be too close to that guy. Dusty, duck down. I'm gonna try to shoot the rat.
Okay.
You shoot this rat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not gonna endanger anybody.
Make an attack roll.
Okay, cool. +7.
16.
Yeah.
Hits.
Sweet.
Go and roll damage. Try to roll your damage at the same time you roll your dice.
Love. That's a D8 plus. Oh, bonus action. I'm gonna move my hunter's mark to homeboy.
Okay. Onto the rat.
Yes.
You kill the rat.
Sweet. That's all I need to know. Alright.
How much did you roll?
Well,
Five, eight,
10 plus
10, 10 plus whatever d6. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 plus 3.
10
So,
plus 3. Yeah, you
13.
blow the rat apart
Sweet.
with your longbow bolt.
Sweet.
Boom. Okay. It is Gwark's turn. As he is going to step forward and go, frankly, I had such a better hope for us. Tell you what. Bauble, was it? Why don't you turn around and just let that thunder wave energy out of you around those people who are starting to get a little claustrophobic around you. Need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Do it
It's
good.
against magic, I get advantage.
It is. Beat a 14.
Nice.
Yes.
Done.
As you feel, as he extends his hand and casts suggestion, you're mentally able, because of your gnomish cunning and insight into the nature of magic, you're able to realize that your mind is being manipulated. And he goes, oh darn, that didn't work quite like I expected it to. And he is going to attempt to hide. And you had a 16?
My
Yeah,
initial
passive.
roll was 18.
No, your perception. Your
Oh,
passive.
passive, yeah.
16.
I believe so.
You see he kind of falls off the back of the dais in some
Yeah,
direction.
16.
But you're not entirely
So I have a
sure.
general idea, but I don't know specifically.
The rest of you guys just see this goblin goes running off. He's moving too quick, and you don't see entirely where he disappears to. Okay. This Work's turn. It is Torque's turn.
Behind me, little man. 20. I will stand there because I love being surrounded. I will also take dodge as my action, but for my bonus action, I will take out a little flask, swirl it above the fire, pop the cork, and drink a potion of fire breath.
Awesome.
Now, it's a bonus action to... Actually, you know what? Okay, DM ruling. It's a bonus action to cast this. So, drinking it, does that cost me my bonus action to be able to shoot it?
You can use 2 bonus actions.
Okay.
Because a bonus action is supposed to be a minor action.
Okay.
Now, taking dodge, that's your action.
Right.
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 So drinking it as your bonus action, so you can't use it on this turn, you could use it on
Okay, then I'll skip the dodge
Mhm.
and dexterity saving throw from number 1, pretty please.
Okay, coming up.
Beat a 13.
Now that fire breath has some fucking range.
That'll be an 8. Go ahead and roll damage.
11.
11?
Yep.
Yeah, you blow him away.
Is it like...
Number 1 just gets immolated as you guys see Torque runs up, heats a bottle over the fire, pulls the cork on it and drinks it, and then exhales like this welding torch line of red hot flame
That's what I wanted
at
to
this
know.
goblin, and it just burns him. There's just a little pair of like goblin ankles left.
I want to
once
know
he's
if it was
done.
like drinking Everclear or if it was like vomit or like what was happening. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Morak looks at you and kind of cocks his head, and he gives you a really. Morak looks at you really approvingly, like you impressed him. So.
I'm gonna kill him when this is done.
Why?
Talking shit.
Okay, it's Morak's turn. He is
He's
going.
trying to protect someone he loves.
He is going to make his first great club attack. Yeah. Smashes this rat right here, right next to you.
Yay.
And then turns around and makes another attack on the goblin that was bothering him on the legs. And let's go. Oddly enough, smashes the great club into him, but the goblin is just kind of like, he looks like a stroke victim. Like half of his body is mangled and collapsed, but the goblin pushes himself back up and goes, I'm going to stab him around a little side. So, Bobble, it is your turn, sir.
I'm throwing a firebolt at number 4.
Okay, do so.
7.
As you throw it, his left side of his body being collapsed kind of makes it hard to hit him because the geometry of the shot's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. As you guys are doing this, I need Torque and Morak and Bobble to make dexterity saving throws.
14.
14?
1.
1. Okay. You see plunging from the ceiling on one of these ropes is a burlap sack that hits the ground, and all of a sudden thick white powder is thrown up into the air. So this burlap sack full of like 40 pounds of flour explodes on the ground, and it gets into all of your eyes. You manage to clear your eyes quickly and kind of press your eyes against the wall. Torque, you are blinded.
Cool.
And so is Morak. As you can see, this dwarf just immediately begins like trying to rub his eyes and clear the flour and everything out of his face. So for one round, you are blinded. Okay. Dusty, you're up. You see all of a sudden there's this enormous cloud of flour just lingering in the air by the
15,
doorway.
20, 25, 30, and feline agility to get another 15 feet to be on the other side of this rat.
Okay.
And then I would like to. Is it action or bonus action to help someone? It's action, right?
Action, yes. Help is an action.
Okay, as an action, Torque, man, if you've got another fire breath, spit it this way. And just stand there on the other side of that guy, and then I guess I don't really have much for a bonus action at that point either.
How far
So
did
that's
you
the
go?
end of my turn.
30 feet.
Okay. Cool. It is Mr. Stubbs' turn.
All right, let's see, Mr.
All right.
Stubbs. He's going to. I don't want to go there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take a shot. Take a two-fisted attack at that one.
Okay.
Damage. Do damage at the same time.
Yeah. All right. So that's a 4. No, that's a 11 to hit.
11 just hits.
Okay, it's 4 damage.
He smashes into the rat, picks it up from the ground, slaps it against the ground. It is still alive.
All right, he's gonna do it again.
Okay.
8 points of damage.
Yeah, the second time he grabs it and just flips it over on its back and grinds it into the ground and starts slapping it against the ground. Like, you get the feeling he thinks these are playthings.
Good job, Mr. Stubbs.
Killed it.
Yes.
Good job, Mr. Stubbs.
Okay. The rats are going to move.
Is your beard orangutan colored in
Okay.
It's like orange and gray.
One of the rats is going to take a bite at Mr. Stubbs, and that is a 17 to hit.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
3 points of damage on Mr. Stubbs. One of them is going to take a bite at Torque. That is a 17 to hit.
Does not.
17 does not hit.
Does not.
Okay, Torque, you feel this nibbling against your armor, but the chain is too thick and they can't break through it. And number 4 is going to take a swing at Morak and does not, but he's going to go ahead and take disengage. He's going to do that, and he's going to try to get his position up. And a rat is going to take a bite at Radiant Dust. And is going to do so unsuccessfully. As you think they're messing up your boots, and that's a little bit annoying, but they're not doing any actual damage to you.
Good thing these boots aren't enchanted. We'll be okay.
Yep. Your unenchanted boots. And that is going to be Gabrielle's turn.
Alright.
Torque, be thinking about what you want to do.
Okie dokie. I'm going to scooch up until I'm behind Bubble.
Okay.
And just a little bit catty from him. And I'm going to shoot the one that's in front of Morak.
Bless you.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Oh, bonus action,
Hunter's mark?
Hunter's Mark.
Gotcha. I'm not even
Or
gonna mark it.
favor.
Just-
So that
Oh,
would
that's
be.
mine. Yay.
So that's 19 to hit.
That hits.
All right, and it's 7.
7 points of damage is you launch it up, the arrow goes high, as it comes down, it starts spinning, and it just pins the rat to the ground, and you hear this squeak noise, and then it just quits
He,
moving.
It was-
he deflated. That was actually an
It's all right.
inflatable rat. It was just a decoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The inflatable rat pops.
Awesome.
Yeah. It is now, anything else on your turn? That's
Um,
bonus action.
I
You
didn't
got
move quite enough.
3
I'm
more
gonna
squares
I'm
of
gonna
movement.
scooch back behind the yeah. One more. Save me.
You scooch back.
Ball's gonna die.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like.
And I think help gives you advantage. So if nothing else, it might give you a straight roll. Because being blind makes you disadvantaged.
Sweet. I didn't know that was like a function. I thought just you talking to them when they came in. Shoot over here.
No, there's an actual, you can take an actual help action to help someone else.
That is fantastic.
Okay. Okay. Nothing seems to happen, and it is Torque's turn.
I'm gonna plug my nose. Dexterity save from the one in front of.
Okay, go ahead and make a dexterity save, and
So that doesn't
the
even matter for that one.
dexterity save.
From the one in front of. It's a one spot hit.
It's not
No,
like
it's
a
a
line.
line.
Is it a line?
It's fair if it is. I'm the one that called and told you to
Hey.
fucking go that direction.
Bonus action, you exhale fire at a target within 30 feet. The target must make a dexterity 13 saving throw.
At a target.
Okay, I mean, that's what it says, so okay. Dexterity saving throw, he makes a 14.
So he did make it.
Yeah,
How many
takes-
points of damage did you do?
14.
14 points damage?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's still enough. You burn him up. Okay, well that's definitely different than normal dragon's breath. Okay. Anything
Yeah,
else on
because
your
if
turn?
it was a potion that could do a line of fire, that seems like it'd be a little OP.
Okay, what else on your turn, Torque? That's your bonus action.
Sounds like dodge.
Okay, that's your action.
I'm still blind, right?
You're still blind till the top of the next round.
I'm gonna sit still.
Okay. And that dodge is just enough to offset the advantage against you. So, Morak is going to. You know, I'm gonna have to roll
Don't
for him
walk
and see
so
what
far.
direction he wants. Yeah. 5, and he has to stop when he gets there. And you see he's crying. He's going, Daphne, call to me. Daphne, where are you? And she lets out this faint kind of chirping, very soft. Morak, please. Morak, I'm over here. And that's going to be his turn. Bobble, you are up. And then we're
I
back.
am going to shoot a firebolt through his legs, through the fire, at this rat.
Pulling off a trick shot. Go ahead and do it.
That is a 16 to hit.
That will. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Let's see here.
Please roll your damage when you're rolling.
I keep forgetting. Let's see. 8.
8. Yes. It is dead.
All right.
One thing that's helped me is just lumping them together when we're in combat.
Yeah. But I got an 8 to deal with there. I have a lot of stuff going on here.
Okay.
And I am also gonna step back right about there.
Is this illusion gone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe. It's only been, it lasted a minute.
Concentration.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Dusty. No, Torque, go ahead and make a dexterity throw with saving throw with disadvantage.
14.
14. Okay.
What's the first one?
16.
Okay. An anvil comes crashing out of the sky, and you hear the sound of the rope letting go, and you manage to jump to the right. You guess correctly, and your leg is clipped by it a little bit. You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage, But you manage to avoid most of it as the anvil plunges to the ground. You hear clang.
Gonna live hello bruise.
Yep. Dusty, you're up.
How much did anvils weigh?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Is there any chance of me scrambling up that wall? Last 5 feet of movement?
For your last 5 feet of movement?
Or not possible?
I mean, it's about a 10-foot high. You could get about halfway up it.
No. Not gonna do that yet. Can I bonus action see if I can find Gork?
Go ahead and
Where
make
am
a
I?
perception check.
19 plus 6, so 25.
You do not see Quark.
Alright. In that case, I'm going to use my last feet of movement, or 5 feet, sit in the corner and try to hide.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
18 plus 7, 25 for me to hide.
25. You hide in there.
Thank you.
Okay. It is Mr. Stubbs' turn.
Mr. Stubbs gonna run
There's one more goblin.
to, yeah,
This is difficult terrain from the
Okay.
front of the throne.
can get it right about here. His passive perception is 13. Does he see?
You're gonna fucking die.
Negatory.
No. Okay, that's it for him.
And it is this guy's turn. He's going to make an athletics check to scramble up the ledge. And he does not succeed, falls to the ground, turns around, and he is just going to shoot an arrow at Torque. He is no longer blinded, by the way, but
Hey,
he
you
is
can
taking
see
dodge.
again.
Huh?
You can
So-
see again.
His low roll was 21.
Bring it on.
You take 6 points of piercing damage.
Just how much I wanted.
As he snickers to himself after suffering the embarrassment of not being able to scramble up the ledge, he is going to go 1, 2, 3. That's all he can do after trying to burn his movement. Okay. It is Gabrielle's turn.
Alrighty then. I'm going to, and if I've got a straight line on 4, I'll go ahead and try to shoot him.
On 4? Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll.
Bonus action, move Hunter's Mark to his face hole.
Alright.
Yeah, so that is 22 to hit, please.
22 does hit. Go ahead and roll
Awesome.
damage.
That is 9, 10.
10?
Yes.
Okay, you kill it. You
Awesome.
blow it apart. It's disintegrated, eviscerated,
Nice.
discombobulated.
Beautiful.
Just sitting on the ground, pulling that bow back.
Oh yeah, she's just laying
She
down.
just
and
wiggles
she
her
is-
butt to like aim a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Oh, just
Adjust windage.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on your turn, Gabrielle?
I'll, not that it's gonna matter, but I'll do a perception check to see if I can find Snooty McSnootface.
Okay. Go ahead and.
Ding. Don't think I have any ding.
interference
I
with dice
just-
rolls.
It does.
Is that?
It does.
Is
It
that-
matters.
Yeah, I don't think I have any. Oh, 12.
12? No.
Of course not. Okay. Nothing else.
Bauble. No.
You know what? No, I don't. How much room?
You're the one with the gem right here,
Yeah.
correct? Bauble? You all of a sudden feel something brushing against the back of your neck. And appearing from out from under an invisibility spell is Gwarg, and that's going to be a 15 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
As he casts Shocking Grasp on you, you take 3 points of electrical damage, and you cannot take any other reactions, and he just continues running down the hallway.
Oh my god, you're alive.
You're just electrocuted,
Okay.
and he continues running down the hallway.
Something just tasered you.
Yes.
Basically, yeah. He just walked by you,
Hi, bitch.
smacked you, tasered, and is continuing to leave.
Alright.
Okay?
Don't tase me, bro.
Torque. Make a perception check for me. Give me a freebie. Give you a freebie. Beat a 12.
14.
14. You all of a sudden hear the sound of chanting behind you. You're not able to see it, but something's going on over there.
So like back down in the hall?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 10, 15. I look down.
Mm-hmm.
What do I see in the hall?
You see him running down the hallway.
Okay, that's 15. 20, 30.
Okay.
Grapple.
Okay. That's gonna be a 19.
Natural 1.
Yep. As you go to grab him, he just slides underneath it and laughs at you as he
Okay.
continues running.
Make a
back.
dexterity check.
Dexterity check.
Beat a 13. I got 1 charge of this shit left.
That's gonna be an 18.
So he takes. You round down. I got an 11.
So it'll be
What
5
spell are you
points.
getting?
Potion of fire breath. I got 1 charge.
Okay, so you're blowing your last charge on him. Okay, so you got 11. You round down, so that'd be 5 points of damage to Quark.
Yep.
Okay. He goes. You just.
Just cough the last little bit out.
He did not expect that. He's taken by surprise. He's,
Adding to those burns.
You ain't gonna get away, buddy.
yep.
I'm coming for you.
Okay. Anything else on your turn?
I will yell. Stop. I'm gonna yell.
You can still say stuff.
This asshole's over here. Everybody come on down this hall. We're having a game.
Alright.
Okay.
We're gonna play Tickle the Goblin.
Morak is going to respond and heed your call and come running that way. Use his dash in order to get there. Bobble, it is your turn.
I'm throwing another whole person at Quark.
Okay.
Beat a 13.
Damn, I wanted to hit him with that anvil.
Magic is awesome.
That is going to be a 10 again.
Yeah, alright. He is held.
Auto
He
crits.
is held.
Auto crits. Auto crits, right?
Alright.
Auto crits, right?
Auto crits.
Auto crits.
He is
Mr.
restrained.
Is
Stubbs.
that for melee and range or just for melee?
Restrained creature speed becomes 0 and can't benefit from a bonus to its speed. The attack rolls, which are melee, no, attack rolls are any spell attacks or attack.
Paralyzed.
Yeah. No, he's restrained. Or no,
No, hold person is paralyzed, I believe.
Yep, it's paralyzed.
the creature incapacitated can't move or speak. The creature automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws. Attacks against the creature have advantage. Any attack that attacks. Any attack that
Oh,
hits
it's
the creature is
prone
a
that
critical.
fucks up range.
So it's
If the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature.
Okay,
so it's
so I don't get
advantage on attacks.
Right.
Advantage on attacks if you hit it to crit. Gotcha.
If you hit and you're within 5 feet,
Right.
it's a crit.
Right. Well.
So you have to be within melee for it to be a crit.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr.
All right.
Stubbs.
Well, that's that. For Bobble, anything else you want to do?
That's it.
Okay. Lair action. Nothing happens. Dusty, it's your turn.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Don't have my feline agility. Do I have a line of sight? Even with cover, do I have any kind of line of sight?
Yeah, you do.
Okay, so
He's got maybe half cover.
short bow is 80 feet and then extended, so
Just do this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's pretty close.
okay. So I will shoot, and because Torque's within 5 feet, so I get advantage on the attack anyway,
Yes.
right? Okay.
You get sneak, but it is not a crit.
Yeah, that's fine. So 16 and 5 is 21.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 8, 13, and 3 is 16 damage.
16 points of damage.
Yeah.
As you light him up, you just let go of an arrow and it sticks him through. His body can't even react as he's just standing there now like a statue. He's got this awful reaction on his face as he's still wincing from being burned by the fire breath. His body held in place, and now there's an arrow sticking out of like his clavicle.
And I will cunning action move in a little bit closer. Just basically to here.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope. That's it.
It is Mr. Stubbs' turn.
Alright. 1, he have line of sight?
It's
Half
rough,
cover, maybe?
half cover.
All right. Yeah. All right. So he's going to throw a rock.
He changed his name. I love it.
Eight. Well, that is a 9 to hit.
9 does not hit. It clanks off the wall.
That's it for Mr. Stubbs.
Okay. And Gabrielle, you're the last. You turn around and you see that they are ganging up on this awful Gork goblinoid.
How do you feel about me just going ahead and breaking that scroll and throwing that wind wall right through him? It can just go right down the hall.
You're gonna hit our own
I
boy.
can do it in front of Morak. I have up to 120 feet, so I can literally
Just-
start it here and just.
That is awesome, but he is being he's paralyzed
We
right
got
now.
him. Save it for something better. I know that would have been awesome, but
Oh.
I think we can put it to better use.
Move over,
I think
Morak.
you just don't ask, just do
So
it.
I wanna shoot him.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll with advantage.
Bonus action. I move my 100 to his head.
Hey, she's remembering.
I'm glad she remembers. Puts her ahead of Laura Bailey.
Advantage. Sweet.
Yeah.
Better. 20 to hit. Not
That'll
that.
hit.
5, 6, 7, 8.
16.
16.
16.
No, I'm
It's
sorry.
not that. Just
13.
8.
13.
8 points of damage.
No, this was just
Oh,
advantage.
she's not within. She's
The-
not.
the
She's
hit-
not within 5 feet. I got it.
Yes, we don't crit.
Latte.
Goosebumps. Okay. Are we good? Are we good?
Yeah.
You lean back and you let it go, and as your arrow flies through the crowd, almost seeming to dodge between Morak and in front of Torque, it makes a final last gorgeous curve, and it cuts him in half, and his body falls apart.
Oh, but I was gonna play golf with his kneecaps.
You still can.
You can. You just won't be alive for it.
Is he still alive a little bit? So when I rip off his tweed patches, he
is
sees it.
Not even twitching.
Oh,
His
the
body
puppets are dead.
paralyzed.
I'm gonna go
and
through his pockets.
Dissected. Okay, go ahead.
Let me see that staff.
I pick up the staff without. I mean, before I even go through the
The rod.
pockets,
Mhm.
I pick up the rod and I throw it back to Bobble because I know that's where it
Okay.
needs to go, and then I start digging through his
Right now,
pockets.
turquoise staff.
All right.
With like a single little tear in my eye, I'm like, Morak, go save Daphne.
Morak goes over and
I'm just interested on checking on her and making sure she's okay. She's been one of my best customers over the years.
Uh-huh.
Go to her. Just go to her.
Mhm.
he goes over and this older dwarf with his beard now braided and his hair pulled back goes over and lifts up this young human woman, maybe about 22 years old, and talks to her for a second. You hear him exchanging words. Then he turns around and goes,
Okay, well, she's gonna be all right, so let's get out of here.
Can I check the throne for anything?
sure, go ahead and make an investigation check. Anybody doing anything else? He's
Alright.
investigating the check.
I would probably
Morak
look around.
he's checked on Daphne, now he's okay.
All right.
He's good.
I want to
21.
do.
They begin walking down off of the,
Oh, nice. I just want to kind of do a look around the perimeter, see if there's anything, any neat stuff.
Okay.
And I also that body that was hanging up, just checking on it.
make a investigation check.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm
Mr.
going
Jordan?
digging through
He's digging
Quark's
through
pockets.
Quark's.
Through Quark's pockets, investigation check. And what are you doing, Mr. Bubble?
I'm gonna teach Mr. Stubbs like different handshakes, just messing with him.
Make an animal handling check.
How long does he stay until he falls?
I think so. It does like
8
dimensions.
hours.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right, we'll take it in reverse order. Animal handling check, how did you do?
20.
20. Yeah, dude, you have worked out like this intricate routine with Mr. Stubbs. You've got like, dude, y'all are.
At one point,
locked
it's
in.
actually the two-fist attack.
All
Right. It is. You're honestly, if it got any more elaborate, it would be a dance routine and not just a handshake.
It makes me just a little bit jealous.
Okay, going through Gwark's pockets, you find there's lint and all sorts of things in there. There's not really a lot in there. The only thing that stands out to you, other than a couple of pieces of silverware that he's stolen, is there's a small wooden token that has had like gold foil put over what appears to be an image of a goose in the middle of this token. It's about half the size of a normal gold coin. That's the only thing that's really in there.
Okay.
Okay, taking a look around the room. Bones. There are a lot of bones. And with a 14, you recognize the guy hanging from the wall as Darthag Ulgarth, who was the proprietor of the general store in town. And notes.
Is that like a camel with a goose egg? Is that what you're saying to me?
It is what?
Are you saying I got a goose egg? Is that-
No, you got a token with a
Not
golden
like a
goose
goose
on it.
egg?
No, you got a
I'm
token.
jumping.
You got a golden
Zero.
goose. Got a golden goose. Yeah.
Oh, did you say it was golden foil?
Yeah, it had like golden foil put over it. Not enough to be worth anything, but yeah. Ulgar Darthag, he has unfortunately met his end and been used as a food source by these goblins. He was a decent man, bit of a rough past, but he had come and set up the Lion Shield Coster General Store in town, and he'd always been leveling up with you. So didn't seem to try to rip you off or gouge you for prices or anything like that.
I do respectfully check his pockets, I mean,
There is nothing. All
Okay.
they
all of his items have been stripped.
yeah, the goblins have taken
Respectfully,
everything.
Ludicors.
Eh,
Guess you're not ripping things off.
no, no,
Whatever you're not taking what you put back in his pockets.
Yes, that's
no.
right.
Anything around the perimeter, just kind of see.
The only things that stand out, other than the toys and different kind of trinkets and things that have been piled in front of Gork's throne, the only thing around is like rat droppings, bones, small chunks of hair and meat. This was a pretty grisly operation.
Of the toys and things.
Snaggle Poussey, by the way, is dead now.
Of course.
No.
I joyfully, I just kind of ignore his corpse. But of the toys, if it looks like things that I've seen around the town, I go ahead and like throw those in my duffel, and I
Okay.
plan to give those to the
Not
kids.
as good.
It take about 5 minutes, and you go ahead and you just collect about a half bag full of children's toys. And you were investigating the throne?
21 to investigate the throne.
You are absolutely 100% certain there is nothing out of the ordinary about the throne.
Cool.
Mhm.
Alright guys, well, we saved her. I don't know what else y'all want to do down here. I'd like to avoid the gelatinous cube on the way out of here.
Sure.
Maybe we should.
Right, on our way up, I do look up and just kind of look
No, that's
at
not cool.
the mechanisms and things like that he used to hook up the.
Okay, go ahead and make a investigation check.
I can't do this. Whatever it is you're doing.
Dang it!
Oh.
Why am I so dumb? 2.
2, it is witchcraft to you.
Mhm.
Clearly, this guy used magic in order to suspend ropes in the air and then lifted up different heavy objects and bags of flour. It looks like there might even be a barrel of oil up there, and
Probably was a
it's some
genius.
sort of wizardry.
Is there any rope hanging down to where someone can reach it?
Yeah, there's 2 chunks of rope that are hanging down.
Can I cut them off and bring them over to Bob?
Sure.
How much rope am I handing
40 feet.
him? Yeah.
What, 45 feet?
Bobble,
No,
Thank
50
you.
feet.
I got
50
you.
feet.
Got
Thank you.
50 feet of rope.
I dig
Hopefully
it.
nothing falls because I cut this.
No, it's fine.
And then I run into the hallway.
It's like that
Every-
scene.
All right, everybody make
Indiana-
dexterity saves.
Yeah, Indiana Jones scene. We're all just putting a giant boulder.
No, you have enough intelligence in order to cut the ones that have already fallen off of the anvil and the
Flour sack.
flour sack.
Nice.
You're able to get 50. Yep. Morak goes, aye. You ended up being exactly what I thought you ought to be and what you were able to. I'm gonna take Daphne and head back towards the village. I don't know if you guys want to spend time investigating the rest of the area, but I reckon it's probably getting close to dark, and I wanted to get back over there before night fell in. So I can start helping everybody kind of resettle.
There, as we were leaving, there were 2 elves that had been were floated down the river that did still have their ears. Before we came out here, we did defeat a large number of the ear whatever orc thing.
Ear cleavers, yeah.
Insert the actual name.
Yeah, they make an appearance every now and then.
So that's been the state of things so far.
The town has kind of just been one trouble after another, so when y'all get back, please bear in mind you still need to have your defenses up and be on guard.
I don't know how much we can muster, but I know Grin is taking them back there, and he'll be able to fight off a wolf or anything wild like that. But once we get back to town, we can try to raise the drawbridge and make things a little bit more difficult.
Also, there's currently no bridge to the ladies' castle, and
To the keep?
yeah, And Lady Valrosa has been taken back to Waterdeep.
We already
in
told
her
her about that.
Right, you had mentioned to me that some of the city guard had taken her body and headed back to Waterdeep.
But there's also no way to get across to her keep currently,
Okay.
short of swimming.
There's a couple more ladders.
Yeah, I mean, we did fashion a bridge at one point out of the ladders from the gatehouses, so also some of your towers don't have ladders to get up them
Okay,
currently.
some of the ladders, no towers, okay. So, we won't have access to a couple of the towers in order to defend ourselves, but we need to defend ourselves. But, you know, maybe we ought to just relocate people to the keep for the time being.
It might be the best option.
We'll take ladders, put them across the bridge, just put everybody in the keep for now until we can establish a defensive position.
And it is currently kind of set up to defend anyway.
It's something worth thinking about. Daphne, come on. I'll give it a little bit of thought on the way back. She's this woman now. The stress and the shock and everything has worn off, and she is just blubbering. She's crying that thick mixture of terror and horror and relief, and you figure that Morak probably told her that Lady Nandar was killed, and the loss and the coping of all of that has overwhelmed her. You see, her normally well-kept eyes and kind of pleasant demeanor has just absolutely broken, and she's grieving.
And I gently but sternly walk over to her and just say, I know you're grieving, but just pull it together. You don't want to call attention to yourselves while you're going back through the woods. I know. There.
You like reaching up?
Yeah.
To the semen?
And she
Like in the thigh, like there.
she leans down and throws her arms around you and just gives you a big hug and kind of rests her head on your head for a minute and starts doing that sniffing thing that
Good.
pulls herself together, and Morak is kind of, you can tell he's a little bit uncomfortable with having to deal with all this emotion and stuff like that, but he can
I go ahead and give them the toys and I say, give these to the children.
Morak takes the bag from you, he throws it over his shoulder, and he takes his great club with him, and he extends a hand to her, and they begin walking up to the next level.
Oh wait, which way to Golden Fields, Morak?
Goldenfield.
Yeah.
Oh, it's east of here.
East, okay.
I do-
Probably 3-4 days travel by foot.
I do a little sidebar real quick to Dusty, and I just say, we probably shouldn't tell them about the I guess, new political system that might be
No, let them find out on their own.
as much. All right.
Do we feel like there's more stuff to explore here, or should we take off with him while he's still strong and we're kind of beat up?
We may be able to sleep down here for now. It sounds like the gelatinous cube doesn't come down here, and I don't know how many people are left.
And we could pull the stone over and sleep in Warwick's quarters.
Could,
That's true.
yeah. But, we don't want to go back to Nightstone?
You're not interested in rest anymore?
It's not.
I am.
It's not far. I mean, we could go back to Nightstone and sleep there.
It's literally
Well,
a mile south
wait,
of the building.
didn't
It's a
you
mile.
want to?
I did, but I don't.
20 minutes at a slow
You don't-
pace.
I heard about that band of intellect. That's all I can think about.
He does sort of sometimes have a one-track mind.
You know, I don't, and another kind of quiet sidebar, I'm like, I don't know that it's necessarily safe for us to try to get in with that bunch anyway, so if we can direct him down another path, perhaps that would be in all of our best interest. Or do you
So-
think, what are you?
I just figure we sleep and at daybreak we head east. Is that what you said? Golden Fields east?
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm fine with that.
I'm ready for another adventure.
Okay.
There's a chance that we could able to get some kind of reward if we go back to town.
We do have, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering, what's our direction now?
You said you had to be in town at some point.
I would have liked to once I heard about the band of intellect.
I mean, it's a ruined town. They don't have a bunch.
Yeah.
We already saw their, I mean, they could pay us in yams maybe.
Yeah.
We do know that we could go to Golden Fields and get you something pretty special. Or possibly.
I mean, I could also use that headband. But
Uh-huh.
I know who needs it more, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
We've got that,
it
and
can help
then
more than one person here.
those people you made mad, they said we
We'll
could
talk
go
about
to,
that later.
they said we could go to Waterdeep at any time and get a hero's welcome.
That's
So we've
true.
got 2 different places we could go.
How much do y'all have in rations, by the way?
About nothing.
I have 2 yams.
I can make good better.
I
I'm
did
a ranger,
bring-
guys. I
I'll-
can get us some food on the go.
They freaking took
Alright, let's go back to town.
Lieutenant Snacks and he had all the food in his saddlebags.
Okay. Okay, back to town it is then.
I want to take a rest here. I think we should catch up to them. It's 20 minutes
Yeah,
at
all right, we'll catch
a
up.
moderate pace. I think we can get back there, re-up on rations.
Well, I'm gonna stop and grab Buttercup on the way. There's no way I'm leaving her behind.
Yeah, bring Buttercup. We're taking all the horses with us.
Okay.
Alright.
All Buttercup.
That's what our reward will be.
Back to town.
Boarding horses.
Okay.
Lieutenant Snacks.
Go ahead and, Gabrielle, roll a d12.
Oh, Lord, baby Jesus. Here we go.
6.
You guys reached town safely
Okay.
without any events. It is now probably about 10 bells at night, and as you walk into the town, you can see the main portion of it is relatively deserted, but you can see across the bridge that they've set up some ladders and that the keep is well illuminated, and you can hear bubbling and rabble-rousing and everything, just noise, and you even think you hear the sound of a violin emitting from the keep right now.
You mean a fiddle?
Lindsay Sterling?
A viol is being played, as there
Fiddle.
are now ladders laid across here. The rest of the town, you can see rut marks and stuff. It looks like people have dragged furniture and beds and basic provisions across. What would you guys like to do as you enter the town?
Bobble, you look pretty gnarly right now.
Yeah, I'm not feeling great.
Do you want to try to get across the bridge, or you rather just go to the inn and sleep?
I'm heading to the inn.
I'll stick with you for now.
As you guys walk across the drawbridge, you hear a voice calling out from above the tower. Okay. Hey guys! Hey! It's me, Grin. You guys remember me?
Do I remember Grin?
Yes, you remember.
He's one of the snail?
No, I was down in the catacombs with you guys.
Hi, Grin.
Hey, yeah,
I know,
it's good to see you. I
I know
really
Grin,
appreciate it.
obviously.
Saved his life.
Yeah,
Obviously.
you know Grin. He's
Obviously.
kind of dopey,
Yeah.
big tall guy, long black hair, wears a vest.
Oh, he was Hodor.
Hodor.
Hey, I need someone to help pull the other side so we can raise the drawbridge for the night. If there's not anybody else coming, would someone like to help me?
Torque, you give him a hand?
Yeah, where do I need to go, buddy?
Just go up to the other drawbridge and help me crank it up.
Is it on the tower?
Yeah, it's on the tower, man.
Like in the tower?
Like in the tower, just climb up there. Turn the wind.
Constitution check to see if I can
No, go
climb
ahead and
up
make
there
a
without
strength check.
laughing. I'm trying to see if I can get up the ladder without laughing my ass off. Okay, so strength check to pull the drawbridge?
Yep, you just gotta beat an 8. Make a strength check. Straight up strength check.
I'm gonna have to fuck this up pretty hard. Yeah. 17.
17? Yeah, it's effortless. You guys, it takes you about 15 seconds in order to fully raise the drawbridge with explosives. Oh man, that's awesome. Thanks for helping me, guys. It's not too much trouble before you all head over there to the potluck that's going on. I do have one favor to ask of you. My mom died in the attack, and I think it's okay. I mean, she had made her peace right before that rock crushed her. But it's kind of a custom in our family, as an act of gratitude. There's something I'd like to do for you guys. If you want to meet me over at her house, and he gets down and out of the guard tower, and
That one?
this one over here,
This one.
is his
Juggernaut's
points
house.
across us. You guys meet me over there.
I'm going to hand you a potion of healing.
You don't have to come if you want to, but it's just kind of a ceremony thing we do in my family whenever there's been a death in the family or whenever we have gratitude to express.
It's my last one.
Oh yeah, you
But
sure
I
you want
just
to hold
don't
on to
know
it? I
what's
mean,
happening.
we're about to take a long
I
rest
know,
here.
but I don't know what's about to happen.
Okay.
And you look a lot worse than I do, Bobble. It's just a potion of healing. It's not green or anything. It's just black. You're not going in the right direction.
Who
It's at the top.
is going with Grin?
I'm going with Grin.
The black
You're
one
going with
says
Grin.
potion of healing.
You keep saying the black one?
Like the script.
Oh, climbing.
Yes, just look up healing instead.
All of you are going over with Grin?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And he comes over and you notice as you walk up to the house, you're the only one this makes any sense to. There's inscriptions in the doorway, and that's not uncommon. What is uncommon is that these particular inscriptions are written in Infernal. And as he opens the door, you notice there's almost like a little like a spark for a second, and he opens the door, and you can translate them real quick. Let those who enter this dwelling without the permission of the owner burn for 100 years in
How
battle,
do you not find that?
and freeze for 1,000 more within the depths of Nessus. And he just opens the door and goes, "Okay, guys, so, well,
Real quick, to myself, inside, I would know that we have all been invited, correct? And none of us are gonna burn in
Yeah.
that door.
yeah, you guys come over.
I know that was in my own head.
Yeah, you come. As you walk into this house, it's dark, and he goes over and lights a little lantern, puts some oil in it, and you can see in the back of the house there's a large stone, and the body of a tiefling woman has just been like smashed in half by it. Hi, Mom.
He looks like a human?
He looks like a human. His mom looks like a tiefling.
I would have known that though, right?
Yes, you would know that this is Destiny Aganor, who was the village midwife.
Mhm.
And
Oh.
sweetest demeanor of anyone you'd ever met. Just a real sweetheart.
Mhm.
Had probably delivered a dozen to 2 dozen children over the last 5 years in the village.
Mhm. I convey that.
Okay, guys, well, one of the things that we can do in my family, it's kind of a ritual, is I can tell your fortune. So, who'd like to come up first and kind of get a quick card reading?
I'll go. Nobody else wants to?
As you sit down, he pulls a table over.
He says, "Sorry, Mom, if I don't do this right, please, Mom."
You're gonna do fine, buddy.
No.
I believe in you.
It's like it's been a while since I've had to do this, but Mom normally did it for people whenever they came by. You know, you remember how it was? You remember when Miss Ostra thought that her husband was cheating on her?
Mhm.
And so she came over here?
Every week,
Yeah.
every week she was on it. It
I know.
was ridiculous.
Mom only charged her like, a silver piece every time, but it added up. It added up. She's a little paranoid. Turns out Mr. Ostra doesn't even like women. So,
Doesn't mean he wasn't cheating.
well, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so who'd like to go first?
We'll be observing Torque. Come on,
Pick a
War.
number between 1 and 6.
5.
Oh, the Ace of Coins. There's a lot of fortune, a lot of riches in your near future. Sometime in the next week, you'll be presented with an opportunity to make a significant amount of money. And with courage and ambition, you'll be able to take advantage of it.
All right, I got those.
Did you see any war in his future?
No,
No?
just money.
Ugh.
Just money. Good money, good opportunity.
Next,
I'd like
next,
to go
whoever
next.
wants to go
I'll go next.
Okay, all right. Pick a number
know
between
how to
1 and
make
6.
war.
Then tell me.
When
5.
when I realize you're worthy.
Oh, the King of Diamonds. And it's in its natural position. You're going to get to meet someone who's rich and famous very soon. And whenever you meet him, he's going to look at you with suspicion. You're going to have to handle the suspicious situation with large amounts of charisma and boldness. Otherwise, he's going to look down on you. I see magic, and he's a wizard of renown and fortune. And he's going to be suspicious of you at first. But you're going to overcome that. But you have to stay clear-headed. Good luck, man.
Thanks.
Already
I know. That's what I was thinking. Except for your renown wasn't there yet.
Who'd like to go next?
That happened
Do you want to go
after.
next, I'll go next.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. 3. Oh no.
Oh, the King of Hearts. In the two-eyed position. This means that deep down you're looking for something that you desire more than anything else.
Is that
That you will
war?
find a clue about what you desire sometime in the next week. But it will be hidden. It will take a keen mind, a discerning intellect, intense focus, and sacrifice in order to find this clue about your heart's desire.
Alright.
You gonna sacrifice Mr. Stubbs?
He won't be around
Please
next
don't
week.
sacrifice Mr. Stubbs. He's the nicest thing I've seen
He is
in like
awesome.
3 days. It's the only thing that's brought me any happiness. Oh, and for you, little ranger.
I'm so sorry for your loss. 4.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Picked.
Oh, the Ace of Swords. You have a rival out there. Someone who you don't know it yet, but is competing for the same renown and fortune that you are. They've taken a personal vendetta against you. You'll meet this person in the next 7 days. You'll spend the rest of your life competing with them until one of you overcomes the other. Be careful, this could be very, very dangerous. This time of year when this card shows up, it usually means that things are about to get intense. Yeah. So, keep your head on the swivel.
Thank you.
Well, thanks guys. It's really helped me get some closure. I feel like my mom improves. I mean, she hasn't raised up and scolded me yet.
Do you have any,
Did Mr. Stubbs get a reading?
It really only works for humanoid.
Okay.
I don't know how to read a monkey's fortune.
All right.
I don't know what kind of faith you've got in this household, but if you'd like, I could do a little prayer over your mom. Make sure she gets to the right place.
Oh, that's okay. She had her own phase, and they weren't really acknowledged within the village. She was a follower of the old ways in a lot of ways.
Okay.
She tried to pass those on to me. I'm a little more ambivalent towards them, but
Okay.
I think as long as you're just you're not hurting people and you're pursuing what matters to you. But thank you for the offer. It's very
Pretty noble.
kind of you, Padre. I don't know what's the technical term. What do you priests like to be called in your order?
Torques. Cleric.
Cleric?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, Cleric. Very kind of you.
Tetranomicon. What was that?
Huh?
Grammaton?
Grammaton.
Grammaton Cleric.
Grammaton cleric. Tetranomicon. I prefer Tetranomicon.
Deep reference. Watch Equilibrium. Yeah. Okay, Grammaton. I'll do that for you. So. Now, if you guys will excuse me, I have to bury my mother.
Okay.
Do you need help getting her out from under there?
Yeah, I didn't want to ask, but it's been a long day. I got beaten up by a bunch of goblins.
We got
One of y'all
someone
help me
strong
push
with
that?
us. He can probably help you out.
Would you help me move that rock out of the way?
Absolutely.
Between the two of you guys, you're able to push the rock out of the way. He leans down, and it's with you can tell the depth of this hasn't set in on him yet. And he picks up his mom, and it's almost like he's picking up a sleeping old woman to take her to bed, put her in bed. And he goes out behind the house and picks up a trowel and a hoe and begins digging. And as he does, you see this trickle of tears begins to just run down his face, and he's just slowly and silently weeping.
Okay. While he's doing that, I'm gonna walk over to his front door and kind of dig a tiny little hole. I'm gonna put 2 coppers in there anyway and say a prayer over his mom.
Make a religion check.
And don't condemn her to her version of hell.
18.
Roll percentile dice.
20.
20? 20%?
Yeah.
You bury him successfully. He doesn't come over or interrupt you. You don't even think he saw you.
Okay. I want to find Lieutenant Snacks.
Okay.
Just, I'm assuming we're all gonna kind of go sleep for the night. I'd like to go find Lieutenant Snacks. And
I'll tie the horse up at the
Ooh,
inn.
do you want to see if you'd be willing to have us sleep here tonight, since if nobody's allowed in the door, they'll burn in infernal hell?
Yeah.
I just
Is there
intuited
room
that that's
for
what
us?
you read whenever you were looking at them.
I don't want to, but let's leave him alone while he's grieving.
Okay.
I'm tying up Buttercup outside the inn. And
As you go to tie her up, you notice that there's several other horses from the Zentarum tied up over him.
any of them look like Lieutenant Snacks.
Yes, but Lieutenant Snacks has had his saddlebags and everything taken off. All the horses have essentially been, de-tackled.
Okay.
Had their bits and bridles taken off.
I'll go
and
look-
they've been left to.
I'll go look through the garden, find some more yams or turnips or something, just like 1 or 2 carrot or something, just to
Okay.
feed it.
So I head
Lieutenant
into
Snacks.
the inn. Is Mordak in there?
Mordak.
Mordak.
Mordak was from Crimson Covenant. I
Okay.
just couldn't
I
remember
thought
his
that was
name.
Morduck.
Mordak.
Something like that.
Same thing.
Morak is in there, and
In the inn?
in the inn, and he is cleaning up. You can see that there's about 3 or 4 areas around the inn that have been smashed. And you see he comes down from the 2nd floor balcony area.
Hey, I'm good. It's good to see you because I actually had a question I was going to ask you. One of my customers, a lady named Samil, was crushed in the giant attack, and she has a brother up in Bryn Shander, a guy named Markham. She talked about him all the time. If no one goes up there and tells him, he's not going to know that his sister died. And I can't go up there right now. I need to stay here and help these people rebuild. Would you consider talking to your group and maybe being willing to go up there to Bryn Shander and telling Markham Southwell that his sister perished in a giant attack? And give him our condolences. Let him know that if he wants to come collect the body, that we'll keep her body here in the cemetery.
How far and what direction is Bryn Shander?
Bryn Shander is in the far north in Icewind Dale. I wish I could tell you how long it would take to get there, but I've never been.
How far have you been north?
Oh, furthest I've been is to Mithril Hall. It's further north than that.
How long did it take you to get to Mithril Hall?
Oh, about 18, 19 days.
Okay, so we're talking about a possible month's journey.
Yeah, it's possible.
It's pretty
This
low
time of
on the
year-
priority list.
I mean, it's nice to know when your family's not around
Yeah.
anymore.
But if we get reason to head up there.
He's the sheriff of Bryn Shander. So, him knowing would probably be really important. He also might be able to assist you guys with any other investigations that you need. He's part of the Lord's Order. If you were trying to get on their good side, he'd be a great contact to have.
Okay, real quick, what was the name of the spot?
Bryn Shander, Bryn Shandar.
And it's Markham Southwell?
Yeah.
And what was
He's the sheriff.
sister's name?
Samil?
Markham.
Like Camille
Southwell.
with Massey.
Oh man, that's not at all how I spelled it.
Is Lana around the inn?
Huh?
Kella?
Kella.
Kella, yeah, she's
Barbara.
Kella's actually over at the keep. Her and one other guy started guiding all the citizens over there and said that they had talked to you guys, that y'all had left them in charge. I didn't know enough to contradict her, but they already had an area over there that was prepared with cots and things like that, and they said that they were prepared to help with the rebuilding efforts.
Okay.
That was a dead sister?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So Kella and that other guy she was working with, they're over there.
Okay.
They've already started talking to the citizens and trying to help them as best they can.
Well, listen, Morak, we're pretty beat up after everything, and we were just looking maybe for a place to stay and grab some rations, and we'll head on our way unless there's something this town really needs from us before we go.
Well, you might want to check with the citizens and see if they have anything that they can do. I don't have anything that I can give you.
Do you have a place we can sleep?
Sure. Absolutely.
That gives us plenty.
100%. I'm probably going to be up most of the night anyway. I'll take watch for you guys. Use whatever rooms you want. No one else is staying here right now. I've got some nuts and some dried meat, and a few berries that I've dried out. You're more than welcome to help yourself to my larder, but the goblins cleaned me out pretty good. I'm probably a couple of days away from being able to reopen anyway, assuming I can get the financing for it.
All right. So I'm just probably gonna make my way towards one of the rooms to sleep.
Would it be
You can
better
ex-
for you? Would it be a little bit better for you guys if I just went ahead and barred the door and we?
Couldn't hurt.
Make us feel a little more safe.
If your
I'll
work's
start a fire in the
inside-
hearth. I'll bar the door. You guys take whatever room you want. Food's in the kitchen.
Can I help you with anything before I bed down?
You've already done so much for us. Really.
Oh man,
I am-
want to switch my spells out.
I am so incredibly impressed at these people that Lady Velrosa brought. They really rose to the occasion. And you, little one, you've done amazing. I always knew you were a bit of a pistol, but you really handled yourself in there.
Guys,
Thank you.
Stabby thinks we should rob him.
I might need some gold before we lay down for a long rest.
You got a bunch of gems and
I
shit.
do, and I might need to sell those.
How much gold do you need?
50 gold for the night. I'll give you a gold or a gem worth 50 gold in return.
Yeah, I'll make that trade. And also, I will give Morak 25 to help him get his business
I
back together.
helped two
He
conquer.
is overwhelmed. He
How much
throws
did you give
both
him?
of his hands around your
25.
paw, which you know is an incredible honor in Dorvish custom, and begins shaking your paw. And he's like, "This will allow me to get linens and food and get going again, and we'll be able to reopen so much quicker."
The only other
Because of this.
thing I will take from you before I crash is any knowledge you have of anything that might be in Icewind Dale or in Bryn Shander, anything that might be worth value or artifacts, anybody you know that's been there before.
Sure, I know a little bit about it. It's primarily a fishing community. The knucklehead trout up there are abundant. It's part of one of what's called the 10 towns, which are these 10 small towns. Well, they used to be small. They've gotten a lot bigger lately. All on the left side of what's known as the Reged Glacier up there. And it's the far west end of the spine of the world. And these 10 towns, each of them has a speaker and a sheriff. The speaker is the head of civic society, and the sheriff is the head of military and defense for each of these towns. In treaty, it's part of the Lord's Order, but it's so isolated and far north that really it ends up being a place where a lot of people who are searching for artifacts specifically related to kingdoms that were buried in the spine of the world, it's their outpost up there.
That is phenomenal to hear.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a wild place. It's kind of the, it's the far north of the savage frontier, but it is a very open-minded place, I've been told. They take all comers. If you can work, you got money to spend. All right.
That is phenomenal, and I hope you can get your inn back up and running soon. I know you guys are a major stop in between Waterdeep and a number of other towns around here that I can't think of right now.
I'll put 2 gold pieces in his hand.
Okay. What's this for?
All the ale I drink.
I wondered where my ale went. You took that.
2 gold about covers it, doesn't it?
Where's the barrel?
Goblins took it.
Goblins took the barrel?
Goblins took the barrel.
They took it, man.
I mean,
it was empty. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
Well, I guess you kind of need that barrel, but
I mean, it'd be nice. I really just kind of want the tap off of it. But
it
anyway,
might be
I
somewhere in the
appreciate you
keep. I don't know.
It might be in the keep.
It might be. I don't know.
I'll go look for it.
I'm gonna elbow him before he
I'm gonna
says
go
too
look
much.
for it in the morning. I'll go look for it in the morning.
Wrap my tail around his wrist and just yank him away from there.
All right. So as you guys are having this conversation, are the rest of y'all bedding down? What's going on?
Ooh, I'm gonna attune to my cloak of protection.
You're gonna tune in cloak of protection. What are you doing? Anything other than just sleeping? You doing?
Sleep now. That sounds good.
You had given me.
What's up with that staff you got?
Oh yeah.
Anything special about that?
Yeah. You want to identify that real
Yeah,
quick?
I would like to identify the
Okay.
turquoise staff.
Go ahead and make a. Unless are you using the spell identifier, or you just want to make an Arcana check?
I'm gonna do an I don't have the spell identifier. Yeah, I'm gonna do an Arcana check.
Okay, go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
18.
18. It's just regular wizard staff with a turquoise at the top. Turquoise is probably worth about 25 gold pieces.
Okay.
What's your arcane focus?
Evocation.
No, he means like what do you use to cast your spells? Which you
Oh,
can
my
use
beard.
In place of components.
You can't do that, otherwise I'd have a tattoo. He made it.
It has to be something that could be taken away from you.
Oh, good grief. Okay. Let's see.
It has to be
here.
an item or object. separate
Item
from
or
a physical
object.
self.
It's actually the duck.
I mean, you can.
Yep.
duck.
Mr. Quackers.
Because you can use like the components of the spells. That just helps you to not need all those components.
Yeah,
all the
It's
time.
Mr. Quackers.
I like it.
You should use that rod.
The duck.
And
keep
you were
doing
willing
it.
to throw that in the mud?
You threw your arcane focus in the mud to get him to roll around with it.
That's pretty significant friendship.
From now on, take out the wooden duck, firebolt.
That's how I'm going to have to narrate this from now on, so thank you for that.
You do have a turquoise rod.
But
I
it's
think it'd
always,
be cool,
can I
but, you know.
change my arcane focus?
Sure.
Okay. Turquoise staff
Staff with this turquoise gem on the top of it.
then.
Okay, cool.
Mr. Quackers too. Okay.
Drill a hole in the bottom of Mr. Quackers, sit it on top of the thing. I'll use mending to bind them together.
Okay. Anything else? Are you copying any spells or anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna copy a spell and I'm going to attune to that necklace.
Ooh.
And attune to the necklace?
What
The
necklace
necklace
did
of
you get?
adaptation?
Necklace adaptation.
Oh, I
Okay,
thought
that's
you
easy.
did that too.
You guys are under no rush, so you can take as long as you need. I mean, you can take 9-10 hours if you want to. No rush. Anything else?
Ooh, I might want to change some of my spells, but I'll do that.
As you wake
While
up
we
in the
screw
morning,
around.
Morak is already up and moving around, and he's starting to move things. He's unbarred the door, and several of the villagers have become coming by, and you can hear him holding conversation with them and talking about what needs to be done and things like that. Several of them ask about you guys to see if you came back to the village and if you made it back safely. Two of whom, in particular, decide to hang around. One of whom is Mrs. Fiddlefern, who you gather in particular from listening in on the conversation, is the windmill operator who comes by to talk to Morak about how it's going to be a while before they can get the windmill repaired, and it's going to take a lot of work. And while they're out of work, while they're working on that, she wanted to talk to you guys and see if y'all could consider running an errand for her.
Oh, you know what I did before I went to bed?
What?
Sorry to retcon. I read the love letters.
You read the love letters?
Who were they to?
They were between Mr. Lord Tylander Roaringhorn and Lady Velrosa Nandar.
Tylander.
Roaringhorn.
Okay.
And it is detailing a romance that has emerged probably in the last 6 months, is the oldest letter you can see in there. And as she has evidently completed the process of grieving her deceased husband, has taken quite the interest in him. So you learn he is another lord within the city of Waterdeep and a mage of some renown, and has been teaching her simple spells and cantrips.
So this eventually.
He, you know, he has an estate within the northern district, what's called the Heights, within Waterdeep, and he also has a country estate. But it doesn't provide a location for it, he just mentions it offhand.
You say that the last part about the.
He has a
estate.
country estate.
Uh-huh.
He has a house within the city of Waterdeep, within the metropolis. He also has a country estate that he alludes to, but he doesn't ever mention the location of it because within the letters it's just assumed that she knows.
Okay, and do they detail her moving back and forth between the two, or?
It appears that this relationship was never consummated.
Okay.
It was one in that very Heloise and Abelard sort of way, where their romance was primarily intellectually and politically driven. Not that they were interested in each other for political reasons, but that they related over
Sure.
the political chess game that is being a lord within the city.
And when was the last time that Lady Valrosa left? Because her normal stead was in Waterdeep, and she traveled
Yes.
to.
This was a hunting lodge. This whole
How
village
long
is
has she
essentially.
been in the hunting lodge?
She's been here about a week.
A week. And
Well, a week before the attack, so 10 days ago.
okay, and then
11 days.
okay, and then okay, and all right. So, but annually she would come out and come to the hunting
Oh,
lodge.
God, 3-4 times a year.
And who else would come with her, or was it just her?
Daphne was always there with her, and she would keep a small portion of her guard here within the city, and there was also a couple of guards that would normally travel with her.
And what's the travel time back to Waterdeep?
Well, depends. If you're going by carriage and horse like they normally would, you can be there in a day and a half, taking it easy. If you're going by foot, it could be 3 days.
Okay.
It just depends on what you run into along the way, because between here and Waterdeep, there's what's known as the Mirror of Dead Men, which is a particularly hazardous swamp, and so a lot of people tend to cut a wide berth around that. If you have to go through the eastern edge of it, you can get there quicker, but people don't like doing that.
And directionally, where's that again?
North.
Did you
We
say
found
undead?
raiders on the way.
Did you say undead, or was I just thinking?
Yes, the Mirror of Men has Mirror of Dead Men.
I was
has
gonna-
many undead.
I was gonna ask you, in my quest to destroy all undead, if I knew any kind of like super hot spots that like if we got some sort of request to go through or towards something that I would jump on that.
There are
Tons.
literally tons of them.
All right.
The way you have to kind of think about this world is basically any place outside of like an established city-state is wilderness. And it's possible that it could be infected with either orcs or undead. Or something even weirder.
Also, all the necromancers in this world like to raise undead.
There's entire cities of undead.
He didn't go to the school of
Who told us our
necromancy. I think you're fine.
Huh?
Who told us our fortunes?
That was Grin.
Grin
Grin
Agenor.
Okay.
I'm just excited.
Icewind Dale, I know that Morak told him a little bit about that, but where's that relative to Shander? Bryn
Bryn
Shander?
Shander is in Icewind Dale.
Okay.
Icewind Dale is a region.
Mhm.
It's like saying the Pacific Northwest.
Mhm.
Bryn Shander is the specific town.
Okay. And it's, say it again, where is that relative to us?
North,
Okay.
far north.
Okay, fine.
Like probably close to a month's travel.
Okay.
We
So-
may eventually get there, but
Mrs. Fiddlefern keeps going on, and she's got this kind of high lilting voice. She's, "Oh, Morak, I'm just so glad that we all got back, and we managed to survive being in there. And those goblins, they were whipping us and whipping us and whipping us, and I thought I was never going to make it. And then the blood came down over my eyes, and now, oh my God, I got back to the house and I started putting some herbs on it, and I was talking to Fred, and Fred, he won't complain about anything, but he's just so calm and level about everything. He's frankly like my rock. But frankly, we're going to have to be working on this windmill for a long time, and if we're working on it, we're not going to be able to take that damn flying cat over to the Zelbrins boy over in Golden Fields, and I would really just like to make sure that cat doesn't get left. It was a family heirloom, and their son would really want to have it."
Is this the next day?
This is in the morning.
Okay.
So I was really thinking somebody ought to catch that cat and take it over to Golden Fields and meet their son, and then give it to him. That way, Lathan and Melantha's memory kind of lives on in some sort of way. What do you think about that, Morak? I think that would be a really sweet thing to do.
This is,
You guys are listening in on this conversation,
This
going
is-
in, and the
what do
comment
you
area.
say?
Morak has this incredibly glazed over look on his face. And he's just going, okay.
Fiddlefern is her name?
Miss Fiddlefern.
Mrs. Fiddlefern. I kind of look over at you. Do you want to take
Might
it
as
over?
I stand up and I lean down and whisper to him, "It's two reasons to go to Golden Fields," and I leave. I'm gonna go out, just kind of, while they do whatever, and anywhere, I know mending is a very small spell, but anywhere where I can see people are working on repairing, is anybody out and about?
That portion of it hasn't started yet. Everybody
Okay.
still seems to be around the keep, and they're working on reinforcing the ladder
Okay.
between it. You can see there's a couple areas where they've taken up fence posts
Are
in order
there-
to use it to reinforce the ladders, but that's about it.
Are there dead bodies strewn around?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's still some
I'm-
dead bodies in different houses, yeah.
I'm gonna start gathering the dead and
Mhm.
pulling them together, and I'm
There's
not.
that
I mean,
cemetery.
there's a graveyard in town.
Yeah, then I'm gonna take them to the graveyard and start. It's gonna be a superficial ritual. I'm not gonna use a spell like Gentle Repose or anything, but I'm gonna lay some coppers on everybody's eyes and kind of start.
As you take the first corpse, you find the body of the halfling that you saw in the back of the Summerhawk residence. You move the stone off of him, and you pick up his small body, and you take him towards the cemetery. As you get there, there's a middle-aged man, kind of salt and pepper hair, gray eyes, turns around, and you can see he's in these dirty gold and white robes. And he turns around and goes, "Oh, thank goodness, I was hoping I'd run into you. I'm Father Maestrom. I'm the priest of Lathander here in the village.
so incredibly glad that the Morning Lord sent you to rescue us from that awful goblin terror.
Do I know the morning? Is it Lathander's the morning lord?
Lathander, it's the
Okay.
same name.
And if you've been in
I-
Waterdeep, you definitely know.
Okay, I absolutely wasn't trying to derail the narrative. I was just trying to.
No, my friend, my cohort, you are not derailing the narrative. No.
That was
We are-
outside character.
We know that all things bring new birth, and I actually think that you were meant to come over here to me because I need to ask you about potentially running an errand. Now,
This place is just
I
filled with
understand.
yellow exclamation marks everywhere.
epic NPC man. One of the gentlemen in the village, a gentleman named Ulgar Darthag. He was eaten by the goblins, but before everything went to Hades in a handbasket, he had begun a process of walking with us in the Church of Lathander and finding repentance. Specifically, he wanted to find repentance for the way he had treated his ex-wife. That's Alestra. Her name was Alestra, and she lives in the city of Tribor. And he pulls out this small wooden box and opens it, and there's a small pin, like a brooch, of a rising sun. He says, if you could, consider, go to the city of Tribor and let his wife know that before he died, that he made repentance and that he wanted to seek her forgiveness for the way he had behaved while they were married.
He's dead.
Yes, he was butchered and eaten by that awful goblin.
Where's Tribor at?
Tribor is east of here. I can't say that I've ever been there, but I think it's a couple of weeks' journey.
Is that past Golden Fields?
No, it's in a slightly different direction.
All right.
Golden Fields is a temple complex that's to the southeast. Tribor is to the northeast. He takes the wooden box and you can have a pin anyway. But if you find yourself out that way, please let her know
I'll
that
give
her
it to her.
husband, he was trying to make right for his mistakes. And we in Lathander's church believe that repentance should always be brought to light and acknowledged.
All right.
And on a more practical note, I'll start digging if you would like to bring the bodies here, and then we can see that they're interred with full honors. And he goes back to digging and working away.
Okay, I will talk to, what's her nuts, the windmill owner?
The windmill owner, Mrs. Fiddlefern.
Yeah,
Oh, Mr. Catman, I saw you there. You were in the caverns, and I just have to say, you were just the bravest, most amazing thing. You were able to walk by people. I mean, I was so incredibly impressed. Whenever you came down into that pit and you helped us all get up, I was so really, what can I do to help you?
I don't know that I need your help, but I heard you mentioning something about a cat in Goldenfield, and we
Yes.
may be heading that way already.
The Zelbrants, the town notaries, they had a winged cat. I think they call him a tressum. And that tressum is like a very, very pretty orange tabby cat, and it has these bat-like green wings that come out at its back. And unfortunately, they both died in the giant attack when a stone fell through their house and crushed them in bed together. But their cat, not that the cat is really that important, but it's their son Miros who lives in Goldenfields. If you can, would you go catch the cat and take it? If you're going that direction, please don't feel under any obligation. But it would be a really sweet thing to do, and I think it would be nice for their son to have a memory of them that kind of lives on in the cat. But I mean, the cats can die, but the winged cats can live for a long time. They live longer than normal cats. But
Do you have any idea where the cat is?
it should be in the house.
Okay, I will head that way
Okay.
and attempt to. So that's also the general store? Attempt to
Yes.
catch this winged cat.
Yes.
Oh, I'll head with you then. General store.
Okay. As you guys walk over to the general store, you open it, and there is no one in there because the owner was eaten.
And Zelbrun is spelled with an X.
Ulugar.
Okay, I believe you guys have already tried to loot this once, but I will try to get the cat.
Okay. Go ahead, and as you look in, you hear.
I'm just gonna purr.
You just purr at it.
Yeah.
Make an animal handling check.
So they lived in that store?
13.
They live next to it.
Okay,
Like
It's
this
a
whole
shared
thing
property
says
line.
gotcha.
Jen
Sure,
Storen's
property.
Zelbrun house. 13?
13. You see and this like orange and green flash flies across the room and hides up in a corner. You can see there's this cat like pressing itself up in a corner. It stares at you.
You got any ideas, or should I just keep trying to grab it?
Pull out a piece of yam, wiggle it at the cat, see if it comes.
The cat is completely uninterested in the yam.
Okay, next I will haul some catnip out of my pouch.
There we go.
And just start sprinkling that on the floor in front of me. And then kind of still kind of purring and trying to get its attention.
Make an animal handling check with advantage.
Yeah.
18.
18. That'll do it. Yeah, you are able to get this cat to come to you. It is, it begins smelling the catnip, and you give it a couple of scritches behind the ear, and it comes right over. It looks roughly like that.
That guy looks cool.
Oh shit.
Like that. It's tiny size.
Tressum, you said?
It's a Tressym. Tressym.
Why?
And it's actually relatively intelligent. You can tell that it seems to be able to understand your speech.
Alright, little man, we're gonna try to get you to your owner's son. If you're willing to hang around with us for a while.
And he flutters up onto your shoulder and just kind of like wraps around the back of your neck. And it's kind of funny because he contrasts nicely with your snow white fur, having like this orange band with just a streak of green. It's kind of fashionable.
Nice. Good with this. Alright, we got the cat. Do you want to get anything else?
That's kind of like
Or in
me
this
picking up a
building?
small
No.
child and wrapping it around.
Yeah.
It is kind of.
I
With
pick,
wings, a cherub, basically.
I pick up a 4-year-old and wrap him around my shoulders, and it is fashionable.
Cherub. Okay. Yeah, I was hoping the store would be alive. I could sell my gin.
We
God,
just
he's
heard
dead,
that the
he's not
store-
leaving. Let's go to the keep.
I'll check the general
Okay.
store for any kind
As you
of
walk,
goods.
We already searched it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
as you walk into the keep, you find. You found one other thing while you were searching the Zelbrun residence. You found a odd-looking scrap of poetry that had been written, and it was on a desk. You go into the keep and you see that many of the citizens are all palling around. An area of the debris and the defensive stuff that had been set up by the guard has all been cleared out of the way, and Kella and the other member of the Zentarum are working diligently over a stew pot. They've got a small fire going, and Kella is moving from person to person, talking about just checking on everybody, everything's okay. We're going to secure materials from Daggerford, we'll get them up here. We should have caravans on the way in the next 2 to 3 days. We'll have more people here by this afternoon, and then we'll be able to secure the defenses and everything. And she very gently just begins planting the seeds in people's heads about becoming involved with the financing and the rebuilding effort. And you can tell as she's working her way through the crowd with the glad handing, kind of the cunning mind of a politician, she's trying to win hearts and minds as she's working through the citizens.
When she's in between, moving between 2 different groups of people, I'm gonna walk up, I'm gonna put my hand on her shoulder. I'm gonna say,
She reacts with a little bit of a start. Oh,
the
Mr. Torque.
The tabby cat has returned to roost and its claws are made of gold. Now I'm gonna walk away. Real quick. Before I fuck it up.
Make a performance check.
No! No! 11.
11? She cocks her head and she's confused and she thinks, maybe I don't fully understand him. And she looks at you, looks sideways, walks up behind you, pats you on the back, and slides a piece of paper into your hand, and then whispers into your ear, "You should go ahead and get out of here. We'll have everything set up in a day.
Okay, okay.
Take that with you." She pats you on the back and goes to working her way through the crowd.
Okay.
I'm
Does
gonna go
anybody have
start
any other business to tie up here?
brushing down Buttercup, I guess, and getting.
As you guys
We need
walk,
food though.
Oh, yeah.
I can make good berries?
You can make good berries.
I can make good berries.
That's a spell slot, isn't it?
It is.
The people here owe us a great
And
deal.
I'm a ranger. I can get us food.
One of the others in Tarum, you notice, takes the big stew pot off and sets it on a table, and he begins pulling out bowls, and he's got small loaves of unleavened bread that he begins cracking, putting one of them in, putting a bit of stew on top of it, and citizens begin coming up one by one, taking bowls of stew. Some of them just using the bread to scoop it into their mouths. You can tell they're all exhausted, they're starved. They probably ate a little last night, but this is the first like proper meal that they've had in 3 days.
Let's see.
I have.
I guess at the end of the night, if you haven't used up all your magical abilities, you could give us some good berries.
I have a favorite terrain, which is the forest. I can do double proficient skills when I make an intelligent wisdom check. I can move stealthily at a normal pace, and I find twice as much food while foraging while tracking creatures. And I can also learn twice as much food while foraging, and while tracking creatures, I can learn their exact number, sizes, and how long ago they passed through the area.
That all seems pretty baller.
Yeah.
Well, she's looking for food, I can look for herbs while we're doing downtown.
As you guys walk out of the front of the keep, make perception checks.
And I can start trying to learn some things from my buddy. I don't know why I had 2 in my hand.
Yeah, 21.
21,
13.
13.
She should roll her own die,
Yeah.
What's happening?
just in general.
Perception check.
Perception check, please.
Yeah.
Jeez.
12.
12.
No, it's 13.
No, for me.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know yours that
Like,
well.
yeah. Yeah.
No.
You are clearly far and away the first to notice this. As they're talking about what they're going to be scavenging for and foraging, you see floating in the sky an enormous castle made out of cloud. And it has a tower that must be hundreds of feet tall. Billowy clouds bubble out from the side of it. Its spires look strangely like a pointy wizard's hat. And as the tower drifts closer, stairs made out of clouds begin to form underneath it and descend towards you.
Okay.
Laputa.
Huh?
It looks like that.
Okay. So, we're going up this, right?
Is anything coming down on those cloud stairs?
The stairs now form a walkway and they land right down at the end of the bridge.
Are we going up there?
Yeah.
Or are we heading east?
I mean, let's just head up there and see what's going on real quick. It's gonna be fine.
I feel like I've had some foreshadowing about this. But
It's going to be fine.
Alright.
I start climbing the stairs.
Okay.
I follow him. I can just snag him and throw him on my back.
sure. Me and my winged cat.
You and your winged cat.
Can I
Yeah,
try to
right.
figure out what the cat's name is? You can speak to small animals, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
While we're climbing. Oh, there's a new friend. Would I would have already known the cat's name?
Yeah, and you know that they called him Leomund.
Leomund. Hi, Leomund. So he like scritches his little chin.
He's met you before. He's fond of you, and he gives you just kind of like those little like nuzzles on the side of your ear. He licks your ear twice and then rubs his head against you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are we doing
The
with this
stairs are human size,
Supposed to
not
bring him
giant
to
size,
The
and
sun.
they go up in a spiral about 500 feet up
I believe
to
he's
this
in
castle.
Overfield, so that'll work well with
Okay.
our plans.
As you guys begin working your way up, it gets a little bit colder, a little bit more bitter. And as you walk up to the top, you land on this landing. You realize now this castle is 200 feet high with windows. It's 8-sided, and there is a enormous 30-foot door with huge brass knockers on the front of them. And as you walk up to the doors, they just and open.
What knockers?
All right. Yeah, let's step on in.
So you step in.
Zero hesitation. Can I look?
This is.
I'll let him walk in, but can
I
I
mean,
look?
I
before
clearly,
enter?
I clearly,
What are you looking
the
for?
wizard starts walking towards the tower. I just believe that he already knows what's going on here. He knows
I'm
these
just
people
looking
are like,
for
oh.
like anything that might cause us to trip up. Just general perception. I
Anything
guess.
that might cause you to trip up. You're 500 feet in the air in a mysterious cloud wizard's tower. Everything can cause you to trip up.
I know, but this is what you said, 30-foot door.
30-foot door.
Yeah, so just like in general stuff on the floor that looks like a divot to a giant would still be a pretty big cavern to us.
If you're human size.
You're standing on cloud material.
He
And
said
so even though it
Even
appears
inside
to be,
is cloud material?
yes,
Okay.
even as you walk in, there is nothing made of stone here. It is all made out of cloud. Even the strange wizard's hat at the top appears to be made out of purple and silver
Do I?
Please
cloud.
don't embarrass me, you guys.
I'm still
Do
gonna
I-
wait behind you.
Don't
I'm
embarrass
not,
me in
I'm
front
not
of the
going
wizard.
first at all.
Do I have any misgivings about this?
You took it.
I can't answer that for you.
Insight?
No, you shouldn't.
Sure, go ahead and make an insight check.
Does it, I mean, like, does it feel like, ooh, oh, wizards are like, wow, wizards?
And I guess I'm looking for
Does
traps.
that make any sense? I got a dirty 20.
Are they
It
storm
feels
clouds?
whimsical
Actually, I got
and
22.
peaceful. They are
Okay.
not storm clouds. They are bright, billowing, cumulus clouds.
So I feel good about
Everything
this.
seems clear and bright. It's early morning and the sunlight is shining down, and also it's a castle with a giant goofy wizard's hat on the top of it.
Yeah.
So neither of these two are hesitating.
No.
All right, I'm gonna look behind and see if anyone else seems to have noticed what's going on.
Looking down 500 feet, it's hard to tell. You can tell a couple of people have come out and seen it, but no one is climbing up the stairway. As soon as you guys hit the top landing, it
I will
Retracts
hesitantly
behind
follow
you.
them
Why'd
inside.
they wait to show up until now?
We're gonna find out.
I'm asking him like I know what he's
It's
going,
a
what's
cloud
going on here.
Wizard's tower. We had to go. We had to go.
Wait, you mean you don't know these people?
We're gonna meet them right now.
as you walk in, striding confidently in, this area is 80 feet high, and at the top you can see a 20-foot wide opening that leads to an area even up above that. 6 lanterns that burn with a spell of continual flame hang down about 40 feet, illuminating this whole area brightly. You can see it's decorated like a workspace. Like there's a small woodworking bench, there's a small telescope that peers out of the back side of it. There's a large desk. Everything is giant sized. It's proportionate for someone who would be 20, 24 feet tall. And so even one of the small chairs is higher than your head. And as you walk in, you see descending through this 20-foot aperture via levitation spell is a enormous cloud giant with billowing white hair and a long, thin white beard and these wild, crazy eyes of blue and purple skin. And as he descends, he extends his hands, and this echoing voice seems to resonate throughout this cloud castle. And he says, "Greetings, adventurers. I am Zephyros, cloud giant and humble servant of Memnor. I have been scrying upon these lands, and voices from beyond the astral sea have guided me to this village."
I will kneel down and bow to him as if to dismount him, and I say, "Greetings, humble giant. May I present to you Bubble Bobble, the first of his name, Cinderborn, reader of books, knower of all great things."
I am truly humbled and grateful to meet you. The voices that I communicate with in the astral sea have told me that you have truly a majestic destiny. It is my humble part but to take you to one place of your determination. I have been commanded by the gods
Do we
that
have
I
to
shall
go now?
serve you in this way. Yes, we must leave now. If we tarry any longer, we might interfere with fate itself. For now, many things are being shifted. There is much trouble and many rumblings. Old orders have been cast down, and new threats rise.
O noble one, may we have a few minutes to parley amongst ourselves?
Certainly, please. Let me know where you would like to go. And he just kind of leans back and floats in the air.
I have a pass to go to the University of Amadar if we go to the city of
It's
Dis.
a burning hell
I know.
that none of
I'm
us
just
are allowed to
saying.
go in.
I'm just
No,
saying.
you can do
I'm
that
just
some
throwing
other
it out
time.
there.
Absolutely not right now. We have a whole grocery list of shit that will benefit all of us, and 3 of us won't die in the process.
When are you gonna get a chance to go to Dis?
It would
Whatever.
take us the most
I can get you
to
there.
go to Icewind Dale,
That's
to that
true.
territory.
That's no.
Or we could go to Waterdeep because we have a bounty that could get us further there.
My suggestion. How far away was Icewind Dale?
It was a
Like,
month's
that
travel.
was a fucking
Pretty
long
close
ass
to a
way.
month's
Far
travel.
So
I may be of assistance. I navigate the entire northern part of this continent. If you have any questions about destinations, I will do my best to provide you with insight. However, be aware, I cannot reveal too many details to you, for the gods have commanded that I not alter your destiny.
can you tell how strong I am? Are you that kind of?
You're strong of character and strong of mind.
Yeah, if we went to Icewind Dale, would we get our ass kicked?
You would definitely need warmer clothes.
Okay. Here's my input, and then once I've given y'all my input,
I suspect I have warmer clothes around somewhere. In the time it takes us to get there, I might be able to, with your help, fashion some suitable cold weather gear.
Is it one way or round trip?
Yes, I have been commanded once I drop you at your destination to go to the Moonshay Isles, to the far west of the Sword Coast.
Okay.
here is my input, and then once I've given it to y'all, I'll leave the choice up to you. Icewind Dale's real far away. If we get in too much trouble, we're far away from any allies we've made so far. Golden Fields, 3 days travel. Oh, do we get to bring but our horses, man? He's trying to get us away from our horses.
We can get more horses.
Waterdeep is a day away. We got a hero's welcome.
I don't think we need to ride to Waterdeep if we're leaving here.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Is I think this might
If we
be
go to Icewind Dale, we're probably not coming back here for a very long
exactly,
time.
and it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get to all the things we've been given that will give us notoriety here in this here land. All right, so I honestly think this might be a bad idea, and I just came up with that on the spot.
Who's the party that we were going to? I know it was Simeon's brother, but how were we going to benefit from sharing the story of his wife's death or his sister's death?
I don't care about that shit. If we end up over there, we'll do it. But I'm more interested in Waterdeep and Golden Fields right now. I
Yes.
am more interested in Golden Fields because it's a 2-parter for us.
Sure.
All right, we got 2.
Fairly interested in Icewind Dale. There's some
I'm
interesting
interested.
artifacts
I'm
up that
interested in
way.
Icewind Dale, but I'm interested in
We
going
go
there
there.
I
once
don't
we.
think
Chance
you're as
that
interested as I am.
Everything that we've done here, we might never get back to.
Excuse me, Zephyrus, do you know of any undead up there in Icewind Dale?
There are many undead within Icewind Dale, for the giant kingdom of Astoria lays to the east of there, and the animated giant corpses perverted by unholy magics occasionally rise out of the glacier.
Alright, thanks for your help.
Especially since the ordning has been shattered.
I would like to show him my spell book and then ask him, you think it's a good idea for me to go to Icewind Dale based on the spells I have here?
You would be far ahead of many who are up there.
Really?
What I'm.
The hazards of the land are, for the most part, environmental in nature. However, there is more than abundant supplies in that area. Merchants trade from Brimshander to the other 10 towns, and the economy is good.
This is what I'm saying. We have 2 places that are real close that we can probably get benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, absolutely. He could, if we could find that headband of intellect, that's going to be good for him.
That would be nice.
There's, what was the other thing we're supposed to do in Golden Fields?
Return the cat.
You got the cat. That's 2 reasons to go there. And Waterdeep is just a day's away. We got a hero's welcome. We got all sorts of stuff. And if everything goes freaking wrong, we have kind of a home base to come back to and regroup ourselves before we go somewhere else. I want to go to Icewind Dale. I want to kill the undead. But I think we can put that at further down the list when we're a little bit more well equipped and a little bit more experienced in what we're doing.
Waterdeep is 1 to 3 days travel, and there is some rough terrain to pass through. And
And we met bandits on our way up here more than once.
Yeah, that's
I
all
had to
right.
bribe some in y'all sleep.
That's all right. I think we'll be all right this time.
How?
We also have horses this time. If we don't take this, I know it's a great opportunity, but I think it's jumping the shark a little bit.
Zephyros, is there any way
Yes.
for you to collect our horses?
There is none.
Oh, okay.
There are many horses available. If you would like, while we are in travel, I can send a message or make an arrangement for horses to be ready for you at whichever destination you would like.
Waterdeep?
Yes.
I think Waterdeep is a good idea.
My vote is either Waterdeep or Golden Fields, and Icewind Dale is not off the list.
Oh wait, so where is Waterdeep relative to Icewind Dale? It's just, Waterdeep is just due north?
There is probably, if you were to travel by wagon or carriage, it is probably a month's journey, 26 days between Waterdeep and Icewind Dale.
No, I'm saying between Waterdeep and Golden Field.
4 or 5 days by wagon or carriage. Traveling with me, it would be a third of that.
Golden Fields is 3 days away, and Waterdeep is 1 day.
It's 1 to 3 days. They said it was
It's one if we ride, it's three
yeah,
if
it's
we walk.
1.5 days fast, but there you could run into some trouble
Waterdeep.
to going to Waterdeep.
So Golden Fields was 3 days walking,
I think so.
so 1 day on horseback.
You didn't get specifics.
I asked
Golden
the
Golden
navigator.
Fields could be, depending on the path that you take and whether you go through Yarta, it could be as much as 5 days or as short as 3, depending on how much risk you wanted to take and if you use the major tradeways.
I'd say my vote is go to Waterdeep and then head towards Golden Fields, see where the Hero's Welcome gets us.
From your understanding, which is more treacherous? Which on
We
foot
would have to
or?
The most treacherous passage would be to Icewind Dale. If you wish to avoid a treacherous passage by foot, I would take you to Icewind Dale.
I honestly don't know how welcome I am in Waterdeep currently.
They said if we came, we'd get
A
Hero's
Hero's
Welcome
Even
for liberating the city.
We don't speak of what happened.
even for that which we don't speak of.
You look a little skeptical.
Yeah, I still don't know how welcome I am in Waterdeep, being as,
You know your reputation there's pretty crummy.
yeah.
Not just among the lords, but there's also members of the Thieves Guild that see you as being
Probably reckless, if nothing else. Yeah.
too ambitious
I
for their
see.
taste.
Even,
Okay,
even
then
though
let's go to Golden Fields.
I feel like we would be.
You could absolutely move around within the city, but you would have to take additional precautions.
Yeah.
What?
Just for now, until I can get my reputation a little more cleaned up, I'm not really fit for Waterdeep.
Okay.
I am trying to build a name, but the way I'm doing it is not making the Thieves Guild very happy.
Maybe this is more spiritual than I typically am, but I feel like if this was something that was predestined, Icewind Dale makes the most sense. Just because it would be the most difficult travel, and to have something as beneficial as
Fast travel?
a week versus a month, it seems like perhaps this is a part of our destiny.
By the way, a week in D&D is 10 days. They don't call them weeks, they call them 10 days.
And
10 days.
And I mean, I'm not guaranteed it's a month, but he said it was past a place he went to that took him 3 weeks to get to.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be even further than that, and we would be getting basically a ride.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be telling some dude that his sister's dead.
I'm sure that there is much more to do there. From what I heard, there was
And horses.
a lot
Everybody get a horse
of.
about free rides.
We don't have a
There's
lot.
Buried Kingdom artifacts. We would be in with the sheriff. We would have many ways to move from there. You're part of the Lord's Order, right? There's a whole bunch of you up there. Who do you travel with?
Y'all.
Okay.
I can confirm this. I've studied him.
Extensively.
He travels with us.
Yeah.
I can confirm this.
It is a free ride.
I guess meta for a little second, because this is literally a part of the book where it's like everything goes like this. There's going to be awesome stuff to do regardless of what you guys pick. There's no wrong choice here.
We go to Icewind Dale, we basically just stole the cat. We might come back, I don't know.
What's wrong with taking a cat? You can fly.
You should be against that more than anyone.
I'm the one with the cat.
I'll tell you what, let's take let's take a 10-minute break,
Okay.
because I need to get a little something to drink, and y'all chat about it, and we'll pick up in about 10 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Cool. Actually, I'm gonna leave the room, that way y'all can talk without me watching.
My wife and mother are watching me
Mhm.
on Twitch.
What?
Really?
Fun.
Is that who they are?
Huh?
I didn't tell them. How do they know?
I don't know.
Have you
Doesn't make
talked
sense.
about it in the
How-
past?
Never.
How do they
Yeah,
know?
That's my mom.
How do they know
No,
that
but
you?
You said your
They're,
wife
they're
too,
listening.
right?
Yeah.
They're listening
So I'm guessing
to
Marissa-
us, trying to figure out how they're watching you.
My mom's name is Daphne, so I'm sure that weirded her out.
Oh, wow.
I'm alright with that. I'm gonna take another bag of chips.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't.
Had to be you.
I don't have either of their phone numbers.
You have Marissa's.
Yo,
I
if
didn't tell her.
Marissa has found out about it, it's very simple for her to probably tell your wife about that. Or your mom about it.
Well, yeah, yeah.
So your wife's name
Hi, mom and
is Marissa?
sister.
That's awesome. Marissa and Marissa.
I don't. My only concern is us getting out of our element. If he looked into how strong I am and his wizard spells and said we're gonna do fine up there, I'm okay with it. I thought we were getting
He
jumped
did.
a little.
He said,
Yeah.
he said
Yeah,
That's,
that's what I'm
that's,
saying.
that's what I'm saying. I was afraid we were getting jumped to somewhere where we were gonna
I
be
was
out of our
very worried
element,
about going there.
get like jumped from like level 3 to level 10 bad guys and get our ass
he
beat.
said that he would be above most of the people there, which is
I
not.
know, I asked
You're
him.
saying the same thing.
No, I know, but
Okay.
I'm saying that we didn't feel above anything here.
Yeah, we got our ass.
I just feel that if we go somewhere that far away, we're probably
We're
not
cutting
coming
off
back
everything
here
else
for,
that we have been doing here.
like in real life, a year.
I don't feel like there was a time limit on what they said as far as what we could receive from Waterdeep.
Yeah.
You know,
And I feel like, I don't know, maybe this sounds weird, but if they're resurrecting her, maybe give her a little bit of time to like get better and not be like, as soon as your lady is like alive again, hey, give me some cash. Like maybe give them a little bit of time to appreciate it, and then we
With my
can.
broom.
Yeah.
You can't go there, so you just like veto the water deep.
For the
I
time
can
being.
go. I'm just not very welcome in many places there.
Okay.
okay, I'm okay.
So Icewind Dale or Golden Fields.
I'm not welcome in my normal networks. That's the problem.
Okay.
I'm somewhat indifferent. I just thought Golden Fields. I thought.
I'm highly interested in that.
Yeah, I know. So the only reason I was saying Golden Fields and Waterdeep was because they were super close, and we could come back and go off. We had
Everybody just makes straight up intelligence checks.
No.
Checks, not saves.
13.
13?
I told you I'm dumb.
I beat you.
Bobble?
Yeah. 8.
8?
Shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen.
I'd be that bad.
What you got?
13.
13? Okay.
Hold on momentum. I took some notes, but not all the notes.
What is it
It's a
called?
natural 6.
No,
Alright.
no. I just,
Just give you guys a 30,000
yeah, that's probably.
foot aerial
it's not gonna
view.
be good because I'm dumb.
Starting from the north, working south. Bryn Shander, located in Icewind Dale. Think like a walled-off, massive Seattle that makes a lot of its money off like fishing and ports.
It's the
It's
spine
right
of the
by
world.
the coast. It's in the spine of the world, and it's right on the borderline of a. This is all common knowledge that you guys would know as members of just being citizens. And it's right on the border of a buried giant kingdom that was lost probably
That's what- when you
13,000
said
years
the
ago.
ordning was shattered, what is the ordning?
So that's what's going on up there. Golden Fields, you know, is a fortress temple hybrid dedicated to the creation goddess Shantea, and is called the breadbasket of the north. Think about like a military base located in Kansas. Okay?
Okay.
Tribor,
Say what's the breadbasket of the?
Golden Fields.
Okay.
Tribor is an elite military outpost. It is where all the best mercenaries and hired hands who are not in either Baldur's Gate, Waterdeep, or Neverwinter, they go out there to
So
train.
she broke up with her
or get
husband,
work.
married her a military man.
Mm-hmm. A little bit. And Waterdeep is the city of splendors. I mean, it is, it's the metropolis. Think of it as being D&D New York or D&D London.
Yeah.
It's just, everything's there, but it also it comes with a level of probably political gameplay that is unique to that location that you won't have at the other.
Okay.
It's built on so much.
My
so much. I know a
my
lot of the
only
history.
reservation for Icewind Dale was that we would be in over our heads and away from the
All the
Two-
same level.
two other things
All the same level.
that we already had.
Yeah, cooking, or that we know of. The band, Return the Cat.
Getting the band back together.
And what was it? Oh, the band, the cat.
I'm good with Golden Fields. I would prefer Icewind Dale.
Who votes for Icewind Dale?
It's, yeah.
I don't
It's
care
all-
either
it's all-
way,
yeah.
so, yeah.
It's all for adventure. I see the wisdom in going to Golden Fields, but I also feel like we've
Mine is
got,
the artifacts
free
of the
ride.
last city.
we've got a cloud,
Yeah.
a cloud ship. Like, why are we, we could just ride to Golden Fields.
I don't even want to think about the ride up to Icewind Dale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a non-starter without this cloud trip.
Like, I know we may eventually work our ways up there, but it's gonna be a bit. I know you want the headband.
It's fine.
I don't know how we're gonna get it when we're there. All
Yeah,
we
we
know
don't
is
know.
that it was last seen there. We don't actually know that it's there.
And Zephyros is willing to give us to arrange for us to have horses and some accommodations whenever we get there.
And
So,
some warmer
Warm
clothing.
clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we're not at a complete loss.
Icewind Dale?
And I can't remember.
Icewind Dale.
Whoop. And I can't remember what was the political faction that we were supposed to be garnering favor with if we were to go into Icewind Dale?
No, they're the Lord's Order, but it's kind of the way it was described to me
Mhm.
by the innkeeper was it's kind of like the Lawless West. It's a little bit more free
Good.
because it's so far away from most
Mhm.
normal civilizations
Mhm.
that there's a little less of the sheriff is the military and the mouth is the political
Mhm.
side of things,
Mhm.
but or the speaker is
Mhm.
the political side of things, but it seems like it's more of like an outlaw town.
Okay.
I would say that would be
Sounds like a good place for
what,
us.
like Mason City back in the day, probably.
Mhm. I wonder if
Does that seem right?
Mason City?
Back in the day, like Old West Mason City style.
I thought it more of like a wild Alaska or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
think Wild Alaska.
Wild Frontier. Okay.
There be gold in them there hills. And maybe they'll have some work for us too. I mean, with all that activity.
I feel like there's gotta be, and
Oh,
it's a town of 1 of 10 towns, so that I'm sure there's other towns, and from what Zephyrus here says, there's plenty of trade and everything.
Mm-hmm. Glean
I
some
would
favor
like
with
to
the
return here one
sheriff
day.
and,
We do have some stuff cooking here.
I understand.
Okay.
well, but she told us to get out,
Yeah.
didn't she?
Yeah. we
I
should
mean,
leave.
because I have impeccable hearing now.
Yeah.
Why don't you speak to the little kitty cat?
Well, Trace,
Are you gonna be terribly upset if
Oh,
we
yeah.
take you
Let's-
far, far away
Let's
from
give
home?
the cat a vote.
sure.
The cat's name is
Oh.
Leomund.
Leon.
I thought it was
Just
Tressum.
Tressum
Oh,
is
he
the-
is a
Tell him.
Tressum.
Tell him where
Leomund.
we're going and ask him if he wants to come with us.
Sure.
Or if he wants to stay in this tower. Or if he wants to try to fly to his next
He does have
destination.
them.
Anybody get a fortune about a giant showing up in a cloud castle?
Somebody
Unless he's
got,
my rival and we're apparently dying for the same renown. I
Okay.
don't think.
so one got a fortune of riches and fortune and an opportunity to come. I got that I will meet a celebrity who is a wizard and that I need to be bold.
Okay. You
You
need to
got
be a little
find
bolder.
a clue for desires and will take a keen. It will take a keen intellect because the clue will be hidden.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna
And
learn something you wanna know.
She's gonna meet, yeah, for like one of your greatest desires, you're gonna find a clue. So I'm guessing how to start a fucking war. But it's gonna be buried a little bit, and you're gonna have to use a keen intellect to figure it out. And she is going to
Trick me
meet
into
a
telling me how to
rival with
start
a
a war?
lifelong
Learn how to
vendetta.
start a war by stealing a broom back. That'd be the best.
goblin, there won't be a very long line for it. I'll just have Myra down.
Well,
We have decided.
What
Oh,
have
first-
you decided?
first
Council, wait, yeah, talk to
Leomund.
Kat.
I'm gonna talk to Leomund and find out what Leomund would like to do, if he's willing to
Leomund?
stick with us for the long haul.
Leoman doesn't particularly like Miros that much,
Uh-huh.
and so he's fine hanging out with you guys
Cool.
indefinitely.
Cool.
Fair enough.
Alright.
Now we got a winged cat.
I'm gonna give him chin scratches.
I will actually take the cat off of my neck and put it over Torx.
Okay.
Hey man, that's my spot. Scoot over.
I just know like how fascinated he is by me most of the time. I figure he'll like a smaller one for himself.
Wasn't my Manticore's name actually Lieutenant Snacks? I think I named him
I
Lieutenant
think
Snacks.
so.
No, it was
It was Lieutenant.
Sir Fluffington.
Sir Fluffington.
Oh.
Well, this one's name is Leomund.
Lord Leomund, Captain of the Fluffers. Wait, no, no,
Okay.
no.
Don't leave that cat.
Captain Fluffing, meow. The Duke of Fluff.
I mean, he's got wings that are kind of like bat-like. I think they were described as.
Yeah.
No, he showed it.
Yeah.
The wizard looks like this.
Okay.
It's weirdly
Zephyros?
terrifying.
Zephyros, yes, that is my name.
I'm going to.
Servant of Memnor.
I'm gonna give Dusty here. I'm gonna give him a little nod, and I'm gonna like wink at him. I'm gonna reach into his catnip pouch, make sure that's okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna take a little catnip. I'm gonna give it to Leo,
he digs it.
and then I give him the scritches
Give him scratches.
and a little, and a bond.
Quick question. So he said Zephyros, servant of Memnor. So these on the left-hand column are the gods, or they're
The
Anam is the Allfather,
We go full circle.
and then what are these on the left
With
hand?
one towards the spine of the world.
Um,
with the cat.
on the right side,
Sorry, right side.
those are the gods.
Okay,
For
gotcha.
each class of giants. Ordning is the order that keeps giants in place. So even the greatest among the hill giants is still less than the lowest among the stone giants.
It's
There's
a very
rigid
strong
case.
caste system. Yeah.
But the ordering has been shattered.
Yes. Zephyros.
They've done what India couldn't.
What do we do to earn this free ride?
The gods that I communicate with in the astral sea. Once a day I cast contact other planes from my navigation orb in my workshop. And I speak to voices. For the last month, since the shattering of the ordning, voices have been reaching out to me, compelling me and directing in different directions.
And they
The
told
gods
you
are furious.
they chose us.
You are one part of many others. The machine is large and it moves slowly, but it moves inexorably.
We have decided if you could start taking us towards Icewind Dale.
I have discerned that in your conversation.
How
Did
long
you
is
say
that going to
get
take?
our horses up there?
We'll be there in about
He's
10
gonna
to
do
11
horses.
days.
We have to say goodbye to Lieutenant Snacks and
Alright.
Chamomile or whatever the other horse is.
Chamomile butterscotch.
Buttercup.
Let
Butter
me
stuff.
give you the
Butter
tour.
nuts.
And he reaches down and casts levitate on all of you and raises you up through this 20-foot aperture into the second story. And you find yourself in this enormous library, what is his workshop. You see huge 60-foot high bookshelves filled with tomes that you think have to weigh 250 pounds each. As they're about 3 foot by 4 foot, and he reaches out and commands, and some of them float down and open themselves on a table in front of you. And you see this image of a large man with purple skin and a crown. He looks like that.
Okay.
And Zephyros begins to speak. King of the storm giants, good King Hecaton, is grieving because of the death of his wife. They found her washed ashore 1 month ago with dozens of small stab wounds.
Goblins.
Blaming you
smaller folk for her death, he struck out in grief. He has gone missing. Immediately, all of my kind felt a fracture in the ordning. Our gods wish to see which type of giant will soon be top. The storm giants may be replaced, and other giant lords, kings of their kind, have put together plans and machinations so that they might elevate themselves to the top of the ordning and replace King Hecaton. You have seen the results of this. It threatens to tear this savage frontier apart. The fire giants. I will hold your questions till the end of the presentation.
I believe Gabby would do that.
Yeah, seemed in character.
A grieving king searching for his wife has gone missing. The court, which he used his strength and wisdom to keep in line, has turned on themselves. They now bicker and fight amongst themselves as they each pursue power and domination. And you, the small folk, will be caught in the middle.
Do you know anything about why they took the Nightstone?
Yes, little one.
So, the cloud.
She raised her hand first.
The cloud giants were the ones that dropped the stones on the town that we were in, and it seems like it was perhaps an attack against the Lady Valrosa, who is one of the, I guess, more elevated castes within our people.
Some cloud giants are noble, some are evil. Countess Sansuri, leader of my people, one of many, now pursues an agenda of seeking ancient artifacts that date back to the giant kingdom of Astoria. She has been gathering them in hopes of finding a way to lead her to a trove of sealed magic, which might allow her to elevate the cloud giants to the top of the ordning.
Okay.
Him next, then you.
First of all, Sansura.
Sansuer.
Thank you.
And Sansura is what now?
She is a cloud giantess.
Okay, why did
A
it sound
noble
like
and
you said
powerful
Surrey?
one. Sansuri.
Countess
Sansuri.
Sansuri. Countess?
I don't make fun of your language.
I thought you said Countessin. So Countess Sansuri.
Countess.
Great.
So she took the Nightstone for one of these artifacts to help her find the giant well.
Yes, that
Thank
is
you.
my divination.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can I have the hall pass? I have to go potty.
Normally I just pee over the edge.
Right on.
Sometimes when people think it's raining, it's actually me.
Do you know anything about a god?
Do you have any idea how much I can mark from here?
Got a big beard and like a hammer and some gauntlets and a
I know
belt.
many gods. I have spoken to many gods. My mind has stood on the
Temples.
borderline between inspiration and insanity.
So you know Kalimbor.
I know of him.
You know of him. So, he helped me get a lot of my powers, took a lot of them away when I kind of got out of control, put me back down a peg. I still, he still gives me what I need. But I was sent over here to this crazy land by a bearded man, and he gave me these and ogre gauntlets, and he gave me a belt and this here warhammer. You know anything about him?
No, but there are many powers that are outside the realms of even the gods.
All right.
Primordial energies, Fae, all have meddlings that occur within the material plane.
It's good enough for me.
There is also the most feared of all, Joe Pesci.
Does he look like a clown?
No, he actually looks short and bald.
Is he funny?
Anyway, I don't know why I said that.
Children can defeat him.
All right. Took me a second. I got it.
Who was the name?
George Carlin, Joe.
Who was the name of the dragon that came in and was looking for?
I bet we could just.
I just started taking notes.
slow it down.
Yeah, note taking now would be good because there's a lot of
Philodolus.
exposition.
Fellow
fellow Golos.
Yes,
Are
he's
you-
quite an interesting one, isn't he?
Yes. So
We have to figure out.
He accidentally flew into my castle one time. It took me a week to repair it.
He gave me a ball of yarn.
Yeah,
So
but it's
you-
magic.
you
We don't know
communicate
anything else
with
about it.
dragons as well?
Dragons and giants do not get along.
I thought so. That's what was kind of confusing. He was looking for the artifact that I think the lady, your
Sen-
Countess Sensory, might have absconded with.
Fellow Golos is absent-minded, clumsy, a danger, basically a flying misfortune, but he is fundamentally good. If he is searching for it, it is no doubt with pure intentions.
Where is it? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay. Thank you. Can we reach
I
out?
could scry, but every time I cast contact to other planes, there is a risk of me falling into insanity. It happened last 10 day, and it was 2 days before I recovered. I rolled around naked on the floor. Please don't step over there.
Yeah, we would like to take a look at some of your books. Do you have any spell books?
Yes, but they would be completely unintelligible and unusable to you.
Do you want to show him the
Ball of yarn?
No, sure. The symbols from the
Oh,
the
hey.
stones.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I have some symbols. Do you recognize, and I sketch out these ones? on the front.
Yes, I recognize those. The one over here
Do you mind?
is the ancient rune
No,
for
you just send me
death.
the picture.
And this over here, you're actually holding it upside down.
That makes sense. I'm good
It's
with
the
this.
symbol for worm. W-Y-R-M. When they're inverted correctly,
It's death worm.
yes, or death to worms. It would be something that a soldier who was fighting in the days of
Are you showing him the
Sparta-
same thing?
Yeah. Okay.
I scratched these out on a piece of paper. You know anything about those?
Yes, I do. Let me consult my tomes.
And the
Rune magic is not my expertise.
death to worms is for the fire giants.
The fire giants frequently put it on their armor. Let me see it again.
You got an archive for runes going? For what he's telling us
I
about
mean,
these?
no, I just wrote it on the piece that I had.
Okay. Hey, that's not, well, I don't have my piece.
That is the rune for war and the rune for sky.
Y'all won't have trouble remembering that.
Where was it?
Tattooed right here on
Mm-hmm. It's tramp stamp.
Interesting. Very interesting.
my. His giants
Some
held me
have
down and branded
skies
me.
Translated as air. Maybe someone was trying to warn you about the air
From
that
the
emanates
sky.
from your backside.
Cause a war. All I have to do is fart.
You want a piece?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be, you know,
Alright, technically,
moderating my
that way.
protein intake.
He reaches over and you
This is
see this
fascinating.
enormous, like 4
Do
foot
you have that? I
crystal
don't need it
ball
anymore.
that seems to have 3 rings of purple energy orbiting around it. And he stretches his hand out towards it, and the rings align, and you feel movement begin as you begin to move through the air. It will take us some days in order to reach Icewind Vale. Please limit any activities to the first floor. I will lower a rope ladder so that you can come up if you need to. However, I would ask you not to visit the area above us as it might upset my griffins, and their diet is temperamental.
Carnivores.
Seems fair.
Nomivores. Don't go up there. I know you, man. Don't go up there.
Can't eat gnomes, were poisonous. Alright.
Seriously, when they eat the wrong thing, they just poop all over the castle. It's disgusting.
How long
What's
is
on
it
the
gonna-
first floor?
Hmm?
You said you could procure.
I have food and clothing stores which might be refashioned in order to help you in your journey. I would strongly suggest that you each have warm coats, fur-lined, as once we reach Bryn Shander at this time of year, traveling with and cloud material goes pushing forward out of its breath. It is part of a cloud giant's nature that we emit that same material which we use to build our castles and clouds around us. He takes it and he begins to shape it, stretches it, and he turns it into a giraffe. Pushes it over and it just melts into the wall.
Maybe you told us and I wasn't paying attention, or maybe I was and I'm forgetful. But how long is it going to take us to get to Icewind Dale?
Approximately 10 to 11 days, depending on if anything crazy happens.
Definitely told us.
Alright.
What's on the first floor?
Go see for yourselves. And he gestures his hands out and a rope ladder drops.
Made out of cloud?
No, just made out of rope.
Sweet.
Hop on.
Found some more rope for you.
Alright.
Right. He hops on. I calm down.
I have to continue my research for the rest of the day. If you need anything, please let me know. You can make sleeping arrangements on the first floor as I seal this hole at night.
Would you like to buy some gems?
Depends on what quality are they of.
I show him my 6 gems. 3 for gold.
Is there anything useful about these?
You could trade them in for gold like I'm about to do with you.
I do not frequently trade in gold.
Oh.
What kind of gems are they?
What other type of
Sometimes
trades
you
do
can imbue gems with magic. You should know that.
That would be the only purpose I would need them for. And he reaches down and he touches one of them. It's just a little garnet, just a little orange colored gem.
Maybe
And
it
he
will
touches
teach you
it.
something in return.
And there's a flash of purple light. You can just kind of feel it radiantly humming in your head. My gift to you.
Me too, me too, me too.
Reaches
Please?
over and he touches one. It's just a little aquamarine colored gem, and it kind of begins to thrum. It's not like there's something audible about it, but that same feeling you get when you hold your hand over like an electrical wire.
Mhm.
It's like that. You can just feel.
Just like some static.
There's a little static, a
Okay.
little disruption there.
You guys got hand warmers? I'm gonna haul out my gem. See if he'll touch one of my gems.
He touches it. There. You now all have a gem of message.
Alright.
Ooh, can it be like
Did you give me one?
one-time
Do you
message
not have
or
any
all
gems?
the time message?
I'll
The
slide one.
one-time
Give it to him.
message.
Huh?
Can you make it all the time
Gold
message?
message.
I would have to literally stand here and just keep touching it over and over and over and over.
I will skip you. Give me one.
I'll give you one.
That's a 50 gold message.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll give it to you.
Okay.
It's not a 50 gold message, it's just one of the gems.
The stone is not consumed. Just hold the stone and
Oh.
focus on it.
Yeah. Okay.
You can then extend your finger and send a message via whisper to someone else. As long as they're within 100
So
feet.
tempted
Since
to
I
use
can
mine
do
right
that-
now to tell you
Thank
you're
you.
a bitch.
Since I can do that, I could just hand you my gem,
Okay.
and then we don't have to get another
We have
one.
2 now. I have 2 now.
So,
Yes. 2.
Thank you.
Okay.
go ahead and take the first day to rest and relax. Tomorrow we will get started on fashioning cold weather clothing, and if you have any further questions or research that needs to be conducted, we will do so.
Yes.
I would ask that one of you please keep a lookout, or keep an eye out at least. If I'm transporting you, the least you can do is provide a little security.
I
We're
have
in trouble.
vision, I'll do that.
Thank you, young one.
Okay. Well, we don't need. I mean, rest, but we don't.
What's first floor like?
The first floor, the tower rests atop a cloud that feels solid underfoot. An open archway leads to an empty vestibule, at the back of which hangs a thin, translucent blue curtain that flaps in the breeze. Beyond the curtain lies a 100-foot-high hexagonal chamber containing a giant-sized wooden table and stone chair. Dangling from the ceiling by iron chains are 6 crystal spears with continual flame spells on them. The illuminating spheres keep the room brightly lit. The tower's second floor can be seen through a 20-foot wide hole in the soaring ceiling. So it's a relatively sparsely decorated. There's a large chair and table in the area, and you can see that there's this vestibule area where there's small chests of what appear to be clothing and different travel items that maybe were brought in by other guests or left. Kind of like how a steak, like say at a steakhouse, your clothing check tends to accumulate things over time. Same effect.
It's not like the Hotel California situation. We don't know.
You're 500 feet in the air in a Cloud Giant's castle. You don't know what's going on.
Whatevs.
You can check out anytime you like.
That's the craziest thing you've ever done.
I will spend my time bonding with Leo.
Okay. You spend the rest of the day resting and bonding with Leoman. What are you doing, Bobble?
Does anybody have 50 gold? I'll pay you back.
I have 40 at this point.
This is Jen, that's what I have to. Okay.
Does anyone
have
have
gold?
10 that
I've-
can
I
help them?
do.
Yeah, no, I'll. You said 50?
50.
I'll pitch in
Let me see how much I
20.
20? Alright, I'll give him 30. It leaves me pretty low. We're going to a place we can actually trade. We might want to start trying to be careful with this.
Yeah.
So far, I've given you 80.
Thank you. Well, I
You've
gave
given
you,
me-
I gave you a gem for one.
But it's
right?
worth that. That doesn't mean that's what I'm getting.
But do you know that? Okay.
Yeah, I've traded before. My family is traders. I actually kind of know this shit.
Well, then I owe you. Big time. Thank you.
Look, here's the deal. You just help me out when I need something. I don't usually need gold for much other than nail,
Absolutely.
meat.
Yeah,
What
I'm
do you-
gonna study another spell.
I'm going to. There was a ring on
Uh,
the
are
leader
you
of the
paying attention
Zentarum that
when
was
you
in town.
pick
The
like
snails
burning
that was
hands?
in town.
Pardon?
There was a ring on the guy that was the leader of the snails in town.
Mm-hmm.
I want
Are
to
you
spend some
paying
time looking at
attention
that.
to the-
Sure.
You just said it was expensive. I don't know if there's anything else about
It
it.
is.
but if I get
Go ahead and make
Like
a nature
evocation
check.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
each of-
So when you did burning hands, it was half
I'll let
price
you do
copy to the book.
nature or history.
You
Your
paid
call.
attention to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing, Gabrielle?
Because otherwise it's hard.
I got
Is it
11.
100 per?
11?
That was 50.
You think it might be worth around 200 gold pieces? It's really nice. It's not like super, super nice.
But
You
it's,
know there's more
it
expensive,
could be
but
like
it's-
family or something.
Yeah. I mean, this is more than what most people will make in half a year.
Okay.
You know, if they were gonna buy something like this would be like an
Oh.
engagement ring or whatever.
And then, sorry, I'll let
So
you go in
you
just a
probably
second.
have
After that, I'm just
a
going to
lot
sit down and
more
start
gold right
reading
now.
through my History of Waterdeep and my Up from Under Mountain books that I got
Cool.
from the other
I mean, this
library.
spell sheet.
Gold with each level.
What are you doing, Gabrielle?
2 hours.
Any tomes or anything that he's got, or anything that's like in the lost and found area,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of looking through that. So I don't know if there's
Okay.
like.
I mean, I
You
got
know-
3 books I can share.
Sure.
You go through the Lost and Found, you see there's clothes in there of all sorts, whether it's leathers, even a couple of armors. You see a couple of small ornate daggers
You
that have
want
been
more
left
gold
in
now?
there.
25
A couple of wizards' robes and stuff like that. It's really just a hodgepodge. You get the feeling that he's relatively used to having company of all different sorts on, whether it be Dwarven or Elvish or human or even something weird, something monstrous. And just over time, they've kind of left behind different articles of clothing and personal effects, and you can kind of rummage through that and see. One thing that you do find that's particularly interesting is there's a small mirror with a whalebone handle that has 2 mermaids engraved on the side of it. So go ahead and note that.
I walked it.
Whalebone mirror.
Well done there. Okay.
Can I?
I give you back 25 gold.
Thank you.
Is
You
this where we're
realize you
getting?
had some?
Anything else on day 1?
Is this warm weather gear? That
You look over and you see Gabrielle is pulling out different clothes and stuff from this vestibule area.
do I discern that this is the warm weather gear he was talking about? Because he said we're gonna fashion some tomorrow.
You
Or is this what I'm
make a
gonna be
straight
wearing?
up intelligence check.
No.
There we go. That's where it's
15.
at.
You know clothes go on your body, and you reckon that what he was probably thinking is we'll take some of this and repurpose it to be used.
Okay, I'm gonna
This,
start.
this is medieval Renaissance technology, so the idea of having to reuse clothes and resize clothes is pretty common.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Fat guy in a little coat?
See what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do big guy in a tiny
I'm
jacket.
gonna see what I'm gonna match any clothes I get to Leo.
Oh.
See if it.
You're gonna match.
You're
your
doing
new
a
clothes
fashion
to
show?
your-
That's what you're doing?
Yeah, I gotta look good.
Make a performance check.
Looks pretty good. 16.
16. You guys who are watching this, you in particular, Gabrielle, as you were throwing these clothes out, all of a sudden Torque comes over and goes full blue steel on it. He is Derek Zoolandering his way all across the front portion of this vestibule.
I like
Hey.
you like this much more.
He,
This much more. Right
he's doing a pretty decent job
I
of it,
just
you
like
gotta admit.
pick up some
Like
some
half a point of
clouds so
charisma.
that he's got like a little bit of like
Like mist goes rolling across the ground.
I'm
I cast
I
True
ca-
Strike real quick.
I
though, to
can't
see
rip
if
like a
this
red
affects his
carpet for
defenses.
like 5 feet.
What's thaumaturgy do?
You can like slam windows.
It allows you to play disco music in the background.
Just one.
Yeah,
Doesn't let me.
it's heavy EDM just going.
Yeah, disco music. No, this is totally EDM.
Can I cast like some sparkles around me?
Oh yeah, you look fabulous. Yeah. What color do you think goes with the orange and the green of the tabby? What are you trying to work with? Are you going like just straight black?
What's
For
the
the
green?
wings.
Green. The
The
wings
wings.
are green.
Yeah.
I'm going full Halloween colors, man.
Okay, so you're bringing in
A
like
little bit of purple,
and
like
black.
a dark velvet and black.
Oh my.
dark velvet and black. Okay,
Dark purple velvet and black. And
so we have a dark purple velvet and black cleric of the god of death.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is where we will leave off this week, and you are all now.
Now we know
level
what to paint your guy.
Level 4.
Now we know what to paint your guy.
Good things happen now.
Do they?
Oh, for a wizard?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I'm gonna do that right now. Manage 2 levels.
I
don't know what I'll get at level 4 though. So I'm not saying take it right away, but eventually that Warcaster feat gives you like advantage on concentration skills.
Yeah.
That's why I'd mentioned it to you.
So what D&D month? What D&D month would have the death of
For enchant?
the death of Hecaton? What was his name?
What D&D month?
Yes.
You're in the month of Elint, and so
Elint?
I'd have to look at it. And Hammerfall starts the year.
Uh-huh.
I'd have to go look at. Most people call them by like colloquial names. They don't use the academic names.
Okay.
So the month you're in right now is roughly equivalent to like late September, early October.
Okay.
And you're 7 days from the autumn equinox. You know that.
Mhm.
Or, well, 6 days now from the autumn equinox. And the month before this would roughly be like late August, early September.
Mhm.
I think it's called High Sun,
Mhm.
but I couldn't tell you what the academic name of it is. There's this whole calendar that's made up for it. It's called the calendar of Harpdos.
Mhm.
And it's a 365-day structured calendar
Nice
with
little-
holidays and
that's
everything,
fun.
and a leap year and all that. But
And okay,
You
so
take it up
was it? Is that right?
Yeah.
Hecaton?
Hecate.
No.
Oh, what was his
Hecaton, and his
Maybe.
wife's Neri, Neri.
There's nothing for wisdom.
Hake.
Hecaton.
Wisdom up?
I was so close.
I was really
That's
close to that.
close.
What's
He
the wife's
was-
name? Neri?
Neri, Neri.
All of the wisdom saving throws and dex saving throws, everything I make them take. I'm torn.
Wisdom, huh?
I'm torn between upping my wisdom and taking tough.
Tough will give you more HP, right?
Yeah.
+2 for each
It'll be
level,
+8.
and then 2 for every level going forward.
Yeah.
I'm straight up just upping my dex.
Yeah.
But I can't figure out, do I get another spell?
You're a half caster, so probably not.
No, I don't. I don't know what levels those come at, because I haven't looked at it well enough.
It's like every other level, you get another slot.
Yeah, I can't do. I was looking back through. I can't do
Did
pass
you
without a
level
trace
the
yet.
Huh?
No.
I'm about to.
Should I just put you a level 4 to see where your hit points are?
Yeah. Go for it.
Manage levels.
I get another cantrip.
Nice. How about?
You get spells too, though, right?
Yeah.
Do you get anything from like class bonus
22.
or ability score improvement?
Did you do yours?
I'm gonna play with it a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
ability
Just
score.
wanna see
Can
what
I
I get.
just
Yeah.
see what your
Yeah.
hit points
I
are?
just up my dex.
36. Good God.
What's yours?
Man, that intelligence.
With
is not
tough,
gonna
it's
help me much
39.
longer Anyway.
That makes sense. Clerics don't have a big hit die.
Yeah.
I'm at 27 right now on the new level.
I should probably have.
You
it
guys have
anyway.
the same hit die, so, right?
Yeah.
You both D8s?
I'm D8.
What's yours?
D8.
30,
27.
27.
But I don't have anything into con.
You
Oh, I
wanna
have
go ahead and call that?
+1 into con.
Turn off the stream?
Yeah.
Or they can watch us just talk,
Yeah.
that's fine.
So upping my dex gets my AC up a little bit, my initiative up a little bit more.
You 15 for your AC now?
Hey, people in chat, let us know about volume levels and stuff like that. let us know if you can hear, if you can't hear, things like that.
Also
We're
puts
still
my
kind of
stealth
playing and
plus
working out
8.
the bugs on things, so we'd appreciate any feedback you could give us.
Which when I'm trying to hide with my cloak of Elvenkind will give me.
And just put a comment in the chat and tell us how much we
Advantage
suck.
plus 8.
We like hearing that also.
Oh yeah, at me.
Yeah. Just him though. Just
Yeah,
him.
At me. Get in the comments. At me.
The rest of us are really sensitive.
I think I should take it, man. 39 hit points.
Well,
What
that
are
puts
trying
you.
to say?
That puts you the highest in our crew, right?
By far.
Well,
Well,
no, by
higher-
2 by her.
Yeah, she's.
Oh, really?
She's got
But
pretty
we don't
good
want her to get hit
Wow.
anyway.
Yeah.
What's your AC?
So 19 right now.
That is sweet.
And I'm gonna start
How'd you get to 19?
Is that close
Cloak.
protection?
Cloak.
and
Does that give you +1 to
That's-
saving throws also?
Yeah,
Mhm.
God, I love that.
fantastic.
and
All
I'm-
saving throws?
and my new, we didn't really get to get into it too much, but my new tactic, because I didn't have any spell slots, but my new tactic will be casting Shield of Faith, so that'll put me at 21, and basically, because Healing Word is more about the bonus as opposed to the D4 that I get to throw, so I'll start taking dodge with Shield of Faith, so it'll be people attacking me at disadvantage with 21 AC. And then I can just Healing Word the fuck out of you guys.
That's
We
fantastic.
just gotta be. I think in general we have to be more economical with spell slots. Like, hopefully we don't all fall constantly anymore.
Yeah,
But in general, because I don't think we can long rest between every battle all the time.
right. I mean,
It's not a real.
You guys haven't
thing.
been up to this point. You've
Yeah,
had several battles where you haven't gotten rest between.
yeah. So on my economy,
I know, but there's an argument for that every single time.
between
This book specifically is like, don't let them take a long rest after every
It
fight.
makes sense. It's fucked up. To always-
between Nightstone and Ogre Date Night, my economy, I stopped using spell slots for offensive. I don't barely have any offensive spells anymore at all, and I've been like every single one of my spell slots that I used was for a heal, except for spiritual weapon.
Toll the Dead is fine for
I mean, it's a
cleanup.
great cantrip, man.
Because if you're hitting people who are already injured, you're rolling D12s with it.
Plus,
Yeah.
hitting people in general is just like anything you can do, and that one is, you know, that's a save by them. I know, but so far we haven't gone up against incredibly wise people. Doesn't mean we won't the whole time, but from what I know of giants. So I'm not like outed in Waterdeep. It's just in trying to build my own name, I've been reckless, and the Thieves Guild is not happy about it. And since that's my main crew of people,
And I'm
it's
sure they
not
don't
easy
want.
for me to roam in circles around there. And most of the places I go to, I will at least be recognized by one or two people in any kind of bar we're in, and probably the brothels too.
It's okay. We're far away now.
Yeah, we are. We're going far, far away. I need to read up on one of my next slides.
What you getting?
I'm deciding whether or not I would want to raise my intelligence by 2 or take Keen Mind.
What's Keen Mind? Oh,
We would only raise it by 1, but I would always know which way is north. I would always
Oh, that's
know.
the memorization one.
Yeah, the number of hours left before
So the-
you can
so you get
the
like
guy.
accurately call it anything.
for 30 days.
That'd be pretty good for you
Doesn't
because
say that.
Oh, it doesn't? I
No.
could have swore it gave a time limit.
No,
on
the-
it. It
the
says a
guy-
month. It does.
Within the past month. Within the past month.
Yeah. So after that's gone, then you have to have it written down, or else you lose it, which isn't bad.
basically the guy in the second season
I
of
don't
Critical.
have it forever. We were called in the last
The
month.
guy who's playing the wizard in Critical Role,
Uh-huh.
season 2,
Uh-huh.
keeps using that to just be like,
So
Hey
we're
Matt,
yeah, he just asks the DM. He doesn't have to write anything down. He's just like, hey, what was that again?
What's
Oh,
your
no.
intelligence score right now?
It's at 17.
I do
So
get
plus
another
1
spell.
puts you at 18. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Odd numbers suck on ability scores.
I get another
Yeah.
spell for 4th level.
For 4th level.
Yep, and another spell slot, but it stays that way now until 7th level.
That'll put you
Oh,
at
really?
18.
Yeah, which is the same as 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was gonna be that's what I kept checking was what I was actually at, so that if I could up one by 1 versus if I had to up 1 by 2.
Yeah, odd numbers suck. And there are those feats in there that give you like +1 and some other like small effect. Sometimes those are worth taking.
Yeah, if you have an odd number, it's
Like I
still
think
worth
tough is one of them, isn't it? It gives you extra HP and it also gives you like +1 to con.
I don't think it gives you anything to con. I might be
I
wrong.
think it's
There's
just a
one of
plus
them that maybe it's resilient.
Your hit point maximum increases by an amount equal to twice your level when you gain this feat. Whenever you gain a level thereafter, your hit point maximum increases by an additional 2 hit points.
It's just giving me +8.
And then for every level, he gets an extra 2 on top of whatever he would roll.
What's the average?
Average of 8 would be 5. Because you round up, it's 4.5.
Right, I had 24. I had 24 hit points, and then we leveled up. Now I have 39.
You had 24, now you're 39 with tough? Okay, so you get an extra 5, that's 29,
Mm-hmm.
plus an extra 8. Yeah, should be like 37, right? It's showing 39? Okay.
Oh, I do have a +2 con mod.
There you go.
Hmm.
Right, because you're gonna get 5 plus 2. Right.
Charm person, hideous laughter, illusory script.
You know, if you pick hideous laughter, you get to tell terrible jokes every time you cast.
Silent image.
That's true.
I do know that.
Chris Perkins said so.
I know that to be a fact.
Why?
But most of the jokes I know are not dirty.
Why is Peter
They're
Pan
not clean.
Why is
They
Pete-
should be awful dad jokes.
dad jokes?
I know,
They
and
should
I,
be awful dad
Why is Peter Pan always flying around?
Oh,
Because he never lands.
so you need Tasha's hideous
Yeah,
laughter.
dude. I love dad jokes.
I might do charm person. I like dad jokes, but I'm not gonna be able to pull them up on the spot every time.
You just think of a big list.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one though.
That's your game prep, bro. That's your game.
Yeah, that's your homework. You have to come up with 3 dad jokes for every session.
I've like read 4 different histories of Waterdeep. I don't need more game prep. I'm good for now.
Alright, anything else you guys need from me?
Everything?
Everybody, thanks for watching. We'll be back next week, 6 o'clock on Wednesday.
See you later.
Oh, my intel is the one I can up by 1.